Radio 810 postgame show on Kansas City's home for the National Football League. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Brought to you by Casey's Own CBD American Shaman. Come on into your local shaman store for a free sample of stress-sacking CBD. Everything is better with the feather.
Well, welcome into Chiefs Postgame on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Today, I am not Joshua Briscoe. I'm Todd Lebo in today. And I didn't know what we were going to be talking about here for quite a while. What an interesting football game the Chiefs just played against the Atlanta Falcons. End up winning the game 17-14. About as ugly an offensive game as the Chiefs have really had. I know they had a stretch in the first quarter and the first half against Miami a few weeks ago that was not pretty. The 30-yard sack, some interceptions and things like that. But the Chiefs really had to work hard to get the 17 points they got today. And it was right down to the wire. And Atlanta missed a field goal with about 10 seconds to go. Younghoe Kim. We were taking little bets in here in the studio, and I told Rudy and Beards that he's going to hook this thing. And he didn't hook it. Got a little arrowhead wind going down there and ended up pushing it. That ball basically went across the entire goalpost and ended up going wide right. So the Chiefs win their 7th straight game by a score or less. But there is no apology. The Chiefs are the number 1 seed in the playoffs now. They have the bye. It is wrapped up and done. As we were kind of watching some scores go around, the Steelers are still playing the Colts, and for a long time the Steelers were losing. Then they came back and they were winning, and it was like, is this thing going to stretch through and have to see what these other games turn out to be? But no, Patrick Mahomes rights the ship, throws a touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson, just under 2 minutes to go, and the Falcons come right back down the field. They do a nice job, get themselves in real good field goal position, and didn't even have to use another one of their timeouts that they ended up wasting a timeout on a silly challenge. And the Chiefs don't choose to freeze the kicker or anything. Just go out there and let's see what happens. Misses the kick. The game is over. The Chiefs, the 1 seed, they will not be playing week 1 of the playoffs. And next week against the Chargers, I'm sure they won't be playing many of their players. But that is not the story today. The story today is the Chiefs get a win. We will hear from all of the particulars as we move along. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. We'll hear from Raheem Morris, and we'll hear from Matt Ryan, whoever else the Chiefs send to the podium for us today. We'll have all of that stuff for you, and we will, of course, take your phone calls. The phone number is 913-3810-810, 913-3810-810. We, of course, brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Play the $5 Ride to Riches Scratchers game. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly. I don't know. It's a weird week, man. It was Christmas time, and things were a little bit different. There was talk of having the 1 seed wrapped up and how they should approach this game. The Falcons came here to play today, and the Chiefs looked very, very lethargic, really, on offense. The defense pretty much showed fire all day long, and that they really needed that. They needed the defense to kind of pull them through and be there for them, because the Chiefs, the first big chance to score after a really lethargic first quarter in which everybody punted, the Chiefs' first chance to score in the second quarter, they ran a variation of the 4th down play they ran in the Super Bowl. The old, four tops looking play from the 1940-something Rose Bowl where they all kind of flipped around. The ball was direct snapped and then handed off to Patrick Mahomes, who flipped it to Sammy Watkins. This is a 4th down play, mind you, from the 25-yard line or 27-yard line. Flipped it to Sammy Watkins, and then Mahomes goes out for a pass. Well, Watkins was bound and determined to throw the ball, and threw the ball up for grabs, and Atlanta picked the ball off, and the guy shouldn't have picked it off, but he picked it off and got the ball at the 2-yard line. They went 98 yards and scored after that, and they were like, what's going on here with this game? And the Falcons kind of gave the Chiefs a little bit of their own business there. On their touchdown play was kind of a little flip pass to the tight end, Hayden Hurst, and it was 7-0, and you're like, what's going on here with the Chiefs? They, of course, went down and scored before the half and got it tied up at 7. It was the first quarter was 0-0. That's only the second scoreless quarter the Chiefs have had in a game this year with an opponent, right? Both teams score nothing. The only other game where there was a scoreless quarter was the Raiders game at Arrowhead in the third quarter that the Chiefs lost. In third quarter, Patrick Mahomes threw a bad interception on third and goal, picked off at the 2-yard line. Did not see the linebacker on the play. He was trying to hit Travis Kelce and threw an interception there. And almost threw another interception later in the fourth quarter. Then, well, I guess Raheem Morris thought he threw an interception. I thought enough that he threw the challenge flag. It looked like the game was over at that point, but A.J. Terrell could not hold on to the ball. And Chiefs got second life. You do not want to give second wind to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They end up scoring with Demarcus Robinson and then withstanding that missed field goal by Younghoe Kim. 17-14, Chiefs get the win. They move to 14-1, and the 1 seed is locked up. Other scores from around the league, the Jets are beating the Browns right now. It was 20-3 for a second. It's 20-16 as the Browns are trying to fight back, but the Jets have the ball. And as I told you before, the Steelers now have the lead over the Colts in a game that some folks are watching here for playoff implications. Other playoff implications coming up tonight right here on Sports Radio 810. Tennessee plays Green Bay at Green Bay. And if Tennessee wins, that's good news for them. And the Bills, who are the other team that was kind of hunting around for that 1 seed, they cannot get it now. They're going to be at New England on Monday Night Football, which, of course, you can hear as well. Kind of a weird-looking day of football. Not a lot of special performances so much. It's kind of got that Christmas week, and some teams are kind of in and out of it. We saw some crazy things happen over Christmas and yesterday, but today so far, not much going on in the way of fantastic performances. But the Chiefs do get the win, and they are now the number 1 seed. They've got it wrapped up, which is exciting. I think in this year when there's only one number 1 seed, this is what you wanted to have happen. It did not look like it was going to be the case a few weeks ago when the Steelers were sitting at 11-0. The Steelers have now lost 3 in a row, and they're going to try to finish this one off today against the Colts. Still plenty of time to go in that game. This is a very fast game. This Chiefs game ended before 3 o'clock, under 3 hours. It looked like we were going to be heading towards some overtime, but it did not end up happening. All right, so we will take your phone calls, 913-381-0810, and I got to push the right button on this, Beards. Help me out on this chat overlay. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, we're on the Twitch now. Is that correct?
And the YouTube.
And the YouTube. We're all out here. So you can look at this happen, and so you can send us messages on there, which we can check those out. I see them now. All right, those are there. We'll take your phone calls, and you can use our text line as well. If you got that, any way you'd like to communicate with us, we can do that. You can also tweet me if you'd like. I don't get super active going back and forth on Twitter, but you'd like to tweet a message to me, go ahead. It's at Lebonics. We will read those as we go along as well. And it won't be too long. We'll start hearing from folks in the post-game Zooms. The Zooms. It's kind of hit and miss on exactly when these things are going to happen. Probably be a little bit of a cooling off period for the Chiefs. The Falcons are the road team. They'll probably hustle out pretty quick. They got to get on a plane, you know. They got to get out there and get back home and figure out what's next for them. I'll give them credit, man. They came to play today. Their defense did a nice job. That's, kind of as well. The Chiefs scored 17 points. When's the last time the Chiefs scored 17 points in a game? I don't know when the last time the Chiefs just scored 17 points in a game was.
The Detroit game?
I'm thinking Indianapolis game. Was that final score was like 19-14 or something like that? This you're not used to this. They had that long streak going of whatever it was, 26 points or 23 points or something like this. The good news, if you're a Chiefs fan, is the Chiefs scored 17 points and they won a game. That's important, right? That means the defense did a nice job. The Chiefs offense is the offensive line is a bit of a mess right now. Mitchell Schwartz has been out for a long time. So, they had Rimmers playing at tackle today, but in the last drive of the game, Austin Ryder, 13-19. They only scored 13 points against the Colts. They lost that game. The Austin Ryder went out on that last drive, and Kilgore came in and ended up having a snap through the end down there. So they had some injuries during the game as well, and they got this thing done. And the defense, the pressures were there. Frank Clark got a sack. Chris Jones was back there harassing a bunch. Frank Clark almost ended the game with what they were hoping was going to be a fumble, but Matt Ryan was able to get his arm moving forward. The ball bounced off a Chiefs player and was on the ground, but they ended up having to survive the third down pass to Ridley, which Charvarius Ward looked like he might have been able to pick off, but Ridley did a nice defensive job on it, and then they ended up having to try to kick the field goal, which, of course, was missed because that's the way it goes for the Chiefs. They have won 7 straight games by a score or less. This one, you tell me what you thought of it. Some of them, the Chiefs had the lead, and just kind of got close at the end. There were a couple of them where the Chiefs maybe were a little bit behind and got it close. This was a nail-biter all the way. There was just something a little bit off about the Chiefs. I understand that can happen when you're used to winning. Maybe you get a little comfortable and you think things are just going to work out. And when you're playing an opponent that's only got 4 wins, who are these guys? They're not going to beat us, that kind of mentality. But the defense showed heart in the entire game and did a really nice job of battling through and coming up with that stop at the end. And I think the defense would be what saved the day for the Chiefs. Let's hit the phone calls real quick before we get to some of these Zooms as we go. And we will start with Terrence. Terrence, what do you think about this Chiefs game today?
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad that we won the game. But I know last week when I was talking to your colleague when he did the post-game wrap-up, he made a very pertinent point. He said something to the effect that when the Chiefs' back are against the wall, their offense is either that good to come through in the clutch or they get lucky. And to me, I prefer not to even answer that question because I wouldn't want them. They have the type of offense where they shouldn't have to put themselves in a situation where their back is against the wall. I don't know the ranking of Atlanta's defense, but I thought they pulled up the stat, and it wasn't that good. No,
it's not that great. Tell me what you think about this. I think not having Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a little bigger deal than maybe some of us thought. He really kind of adds something to him. Le'Veon Bell was Darrell Williams had a couple of nice moments in the game, but they just kind of missed that spark out of the backfield, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the backfield, but also I think I heard you say that they were very lethargic. The passing game was very lethargic today.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes probably could have thrown 3 picks today. Certainly the one that A.J. Terrell had his hands on in the end zone should have been an interception, probably a game ender for the Falcons at that point. And he had several throws that were 3-4 yards short, 3-4 yards right or left. They just weren't on the same page at all, it didn't look like, for a good stretch of the game.
Yeah, even at the halftime show, the young man had said that the Chiefs can put their foot on the gas at any given time, and that was the relevance of my point last week with your colleague, is that we have a habit of playing conservative when the game is close, and you have the type of offense where you can explode at any given time. So why put that much pressure on your defense when people already see that our run defense is not that good? So it's like, why put that much pressure on your defense when you have an exceptional offense and you can just put the game away probably by halftime?
Well, I think this looked like one of those games. We're so used to watching Patrick Mahomes just be awesome all the time, where he makes perfect throws and doesn't make mistakes and there's no bad reads or anything. Today, he was just pretty much like a lot of quarterbacks in the league, honestly. He was, his percentage wasn't great, and he threw some bad passes. He threw an interception at the goal line where he just flat didn't see the linebacker coming down, right? You didn't see him. He was just locked in on Travis Kelce. It almost looked like he was kind of no-looking Travis Kelce a little bit when they showed that end-zone shot from behind. And, you're not used to seeing those things. So if the Chiefs had not tried the silly play on the 4th down where they end up throwing an interception, maybe took 3 points there, and then got the 7 before half, if he'd done something different on that, you might have felt a little bit different about that first half. But, they didn't get anything done in the first half till there were 20 seconds to go. So it was a bad start for him. But I will chalk this up to, this isn't the playoffs yet. You go out and you find a way to win the game, figure out what's happening next week, and get ready for the playoffs. I don't have any major concerns about this game for moving forward unless for some reason this offensive line doesn't ever get healthy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I mean, hats off to the Chiefs for winning. So, I got much love for my team. So I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, Terrence. The Indianapolis Colts just incomplete on 4th down. Let's hear now from go out live to Arrowhead Stadium. Raheem Morris is speaking with the media, Atlanta Falcons head coach.
Their team this year hasn't been able to slow them down like you did today.
None of your business.
You don't want to share that with the rest of the league?
Watch it on tape.
What started to work in the fourth quarter where the offense really started to find their rhythm?
The offense had some success all day moving the football. The ability to run the football today, the ability to spread those guys out and throw some balls. We didn't get as many explosives as we wanted to. We didn't get the ultimate, as many points as we wanted to. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they fought tough. They played well. They stayed with it. They stayed resilient. And ultimately, those guys won't be happy with their results. But it is what it is. We got to find a way to win those games.
Did you have to make any adjustments offensively to kind of get them going late in that second half?
You always got to make adjustments, especially when you're playing really good football teams and you got to do some things differently. The guys did a great job on offense coming out, really getting us in position to win that game and really getting us in position to tie that game and send it to overtime. And unfortunately, we missed the kick. We missed the kick with our Pro Bowl kicker.
Yeah, I was about to say, death taxes and coup kicking field goals this year guarantees of life. What do you say to a young man who's been automatic and had it right there for you?
Absolutely nothing. You go hug him and tell him you love him, and that's exactly what I did. And told him, his day will come, and it's going to come very shortly. What's
your biggest takeaway in a game like this, where you had a chance, and most everybody, there are so-called experts out there, coach, had you guys losing big?
It's really a credit to the team. It's really a credit to the organization. The biggest takeaway from it is that we can play with anybody, and you can line them up, and we got a chance to go out there and get after them. And these guys certainly can show that, and we've certainly been able to do it most of the year. We haven't been able to win these games that come down to the wire, and we got to find a way to win these games down the wire. We got to be more consistent with us running the football, and we got to be more consistent with the pass rush that we showed today.
I know I think my calculations had 8 games this year by a touchdown or less, Coach. Because it was on the road, because it was against the defending champs, does this one hurt even more in a tough loss?
No, they all hurt. It is what it is. They all feel the same. They all are the same. You got to go out and try to get wins. They're no different until you get to the playoffs, and ultimately that's where we want to be at one point.
I know you're not active on social media, but so many fans were very proud of the effort, proud of the way you guys competed today, but we're also, quote unquote, happy because of the draft position. I know you could care less about that because you want wins. What do you say to that fan base who says, it was a good outcome today?
Our fan base is very knowledgeable, and that's their job to cheer for those type of things, but our job is to go out and win football games. Really love those guys. We really love Atlanta. We love everything we stand for, and when that time comes, we'll address those accordingly.
Does a performance like this, Coach, maybe indicate that you are closer than many people think, hanging toe-to-toe with the defending champs?
I'm not really concerned what other people think. I'm more concerned with what I think, and I think we are close. I do think we have the talent. I think we have the people. And we got to fix some things. We got to do some things better in order to put ourselves in position to be in these meaningful games at the end of the season. And I know we can do it with the guys that we have in this room right now. So let's just go and figure out what's going to happen and be ready to deal and get ready to play Tampa Bay next week.
I think it was a 3rd and 1. Coach Gurley ran for about a 2-yard play. Did you think about calling a timeout there to save some clock?
I can't really recall the play right now. Okay. Right now, I was in a situation where we were trying to bleed the clock and not give Patrick Mahomes another chance. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I know we had intentions on using the clock when we wanted to use it, and it wasn't there.
Grady versus Chris Jones, two just, warriors out there. What do you think of that matchup, and who do you think had the better day?
I just love those guys. We got to obviously go look at the tapes who had the better day, but obviously Chris Jones was a factor, especially there at the end. Grady's always going to be a factor for us and what he's able to bring to us and just what he does for us as a football team, as a man, as a character guy. It is what it is, man. We'll go look at the tape and see what happened. But obviously Chris Jones won the day. They got the win.
We appreciate your time. Safe travels. We'll talk this week.
We'll do, man. See you guys later.
All right, there's Raheem Morris with my old buddy Zach Klein from Atlanta. He used to work here in Kansas City. It sounds like he was doing all the questions on there. And the opposing coach is brought to you by Metcalf Car Star. If your vehicle gets sacked on the road, take it to Metcalf Car Star. The collision repair experts, they make it convenient and easy for you to get back on the road. Go to carstar.com. Search for Metcalf Car Star. Car Star, relax. They'll take it from here. Go hug him and tell him good job, right? Your Pro Bowl kicker. I think a lot of Chiefs fans hugging Younghoe Kim today too, saying thanks for missing that. He didn't want to go overtime in this game. You feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's been a very good kicker, but his first extra point wasn't all that good. And then that was a knuckleball-y kind of looking kick. And the winds get a little bit weird at Arrowhead sometimes down in those ends. It's not, listen, you're not kicking at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. It's not all that nice. So that was a tough go there for him as they end up getting the win. Let's hear now from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes as Fox caught up with him on the field after the Chiefs picked up this win.
Well, Patrick, mission accomplished. You had a lot of goals coming into this ball game. You accomplished them. Wasn't the prettiest at times, but hey, a win is a win.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. A win's a win. We didn't play particularly well on the offensive side of the ball, but our defense stepped up and kept us in the game.
Tell me about the offense and some of the difficulties that you had today. How do you iron those out? What was the problem?
Yeah, I mean, obviously their defense played well first off, but a lot of it was just me. I wasn't making the right reads. I was getting us into the wrong place, so going to have to fix that up going into next week.
Andy Reid calls Travis Kelce your dude. Your dude had a great game and made history. Tell me about what this guy means to you and this offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's a special player. I mean, he is a special player who really just loves winning. He's going to compete. He's going to do whatever it takes to win for the team. And he's one of the best tight ends of all time and the best of right now.
Patrick, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The best tight ends of all time and the best of right now. You love to hear that's about right. Travis Kelce over 1,400 yards and is going to be the well, I mean, I guess. I don't know what he's going to play next week. I don't think he's going to get caught by any other tight end. But he's been incredible, and he's a real difference maker for sure for the Chiefs. And he caught a touchdown pass that looked like he was probably in bounds, maybe wasn't in bounds, or, across the line. They didn't have a very good shot of it. It stood, and that was really the thing that kind of got them going. As I look here, looks like the Browns are maybe going to lose to the Jets. They're reviewing a fourth down play in which Baker Mayfield fumbled the ball, but Kareem Hunt recovered it on fourth down, and the ball will go, I guess, to the Jets because you can't advance a fumble on the fourth down play. Pretty incredible. So now the Jets are going to win again. Oh, forget about tiebreakers for that number one pick. The Jets are on fire. Remember, the Browns played with no wide receivers, basically. All of their wide receivers were on a COVID list, and they were down, as I said earlier, 20-3, and they're going to lose this game 23-6. The Jets are going to win this game 23-16 over the Browns. The Browns are now going to be 10-5, and going into today, you kind of thought maybe they'd have a chance to win that division, but now Pittsburgh has come from behind and beaten the Colts, and the Browns have come from behind and stayed behind, and they're going to lose this game 23-16. And the Red Hot Jets, wow, I don't know. Poor Jets fans. All they want to do is lose, and now they've won 2 in a row. My name is Todd Lebo in here on Chiefs Postgame for you. Joshua Briscoe is off today. Let's hit the phones before we hear more from what's going on out at the stadium. This is Steve. Hello, Steve. You're on the Postgame show.
Hey, a question. Can Damian Williams, who took a bye on the COVID this season, can he come back for the playoffs?
No, he cannot. You do that, you're out for the year.
Really? I knew there was probably a money consideration he had to probably do, but I'd say, Damian, give the money back and come on and play.
Well, they made people make choices, and you had to stick with your choice.
All right. Thank you.
All right, sure. That you made the choice. And it's weird. You never ask questions because you just don't have the chance to ask the questions about these guys because we don't have so limited time. And, he's not on the roster. They gave his number to Le'Veon Bell. I'm not exactly sure what he's under contract for next year. I don't know what will happen with Damian Williams as we move forward. But on a day like today, you'd like to have had Damian Williams around, that's for sure. But no, he cannot come back. They're not going to allow you to just, I'm out, but now I'm in for the next part of it, the playoffs. That's not the way it works. Let's hit one more on the phones before we either hit a break or hear some more of what's going on out at Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs winners today, 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. They are the 1 seed. Butch, are you excited about being the 1 seed? Butch, are you there? I'm going to put Butch back on hold. I'm not sure if Butch knows where he is. Let's take a quick break, Beards. We'll get back. We should be hearing from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes fairly soon as the Chiefs win 17-14 and lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs.
You're listening to live post-game coverage on Kansas City's home for the National Football League. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Do you have a frog, a freezing room over the garage? Now that everyone is home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, Mitsubishi Electric offers room-by-room air filtration and precise temperature control. Let's help you turn those cold, uncomfortable spaces in your house into a space you and your family will really enjoy. To learn more about Mitsubishi Electric's solutions, visit keepkccool.com today. Now, they can help you whether you need to heat it up or cool it down. Mitsubishi's got you covered. Our biggest problem here in the Sports Radio 810 control room and studio was the heat. We've got a lot of windows and a lot of radio equipment, and our Mitsubishi unit has kept us cool for years. It works like a charm, and it works quickly, and it's whisper quiet. It's been a real game changer for us at Sports Radio 810. Check them out at keepkccool.com. That's keepkccool.com today.
It's Family Leisure Bowl season on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll bring you all the college football action with the biggest bowl games from around the country, all leading up to the college football playoff and the crowning of the national champion.
Here's a quick throw across the middle. Touchdown, Alabama. He's still running all the way to the end zone. Travis Etienne.
Your home for the biggest sporting events in America. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Darlene is a 71-year-old Kansan.
Hello, I'm Darlene.
Darlene wants every Kansan to pull together to stop this pandemic so she can get back to her normal life.
I miss the rock concerts, MMA fights, NASCAR, and monster truck rallies.
Darlene is the life of the party. Let's get her back to it.
Get a COVID test so me and my girls can kick it.
You've been old-schooled. Get a free COVID test. It's free for everyone. It's up to us, Kansas.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
The home of the Jayhawks. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Garrett, right hand layup, good. Marcus Garrett all the way to the rim, lays it true. Deep catch, big time dunk. Garrett on the feed. Oshon the plus. What an alley-oop finish for Abate.
The official radio home for Kansas Athletics in Kansas City.
Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Rock Shop Jayhawks.
You got through 2020 together, so what are you waiting for? Propose with a stunning engagement ring from Shane Company. With our huge selection of ring settings and loose stones, countless combinations and possibilities, at Shane Company you can truly create a one-of-a-kind ring that will reflect her personal style. When you're finished, her ring will look like no other. Her friends will say, "It's so her." First, select a ring setting from hundreds of unique styles. Then pick a center stone. Choose a natural diamond, ruby, or a sapphire in over a dozen colors. We have the largest selection of stone shapes and sizes. Finally, add your own touch, like a decorative crown or a special engraving. Visit our store or book an in-store or virtual appointment. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
Winter is coming, so plan now to keep those bugs out with Augustine Exterminators. Now is the time to establish and or maintain a barrier around your house. Don't let it break down. At Augustine Exterminators, they have you covered. Augustine Exterminators is a family-owned, local business since 1966. All of their techs are certified in both Missouri and Kansas. In fact, check out their amazing reviews from all their KC area customers. They're also a Quality Pro and Green Pro company. Augustine also does carpet, rug, air duct, and tile cleaning. They have an excellent referral program as well. Refer a new customer, and you and they get $25 off their next service. That's right, refer a friend, and you both get $25 off your next service. Shop and buy local with Augustine Exterminators. Call Augustine Exterminators today at 913-359-8627 or go online at AugustineExterminators.com. And Augustine is looking for qualified technicians. So call today at 913-359-8627.
Home survey, looking, going end zone, caught, touchdown, Robinson.
The key drive of the game brought to you by LMC Truck. LMC Truck offers quality parts and accessories for Chevy, GMC, Ford, and Dodge trucks, SUVs, and vans. LMC Truck, keeping generations on the road.
You don't get a lot more key on a drive of a game than that. Thanks to LMC Truck for sponsoring the key drive of the game. That was DeMarcus Robinson catching the touchdown pass with just under 2 minutes to go to give the Chiefs the lead, of which they held on to. Earlier in that drive, Mahomes threw a pass to the end zone to Tyreek Hill that looked for sure like it was going to be intercepted. A.J. Terrell thought he'd intercepted it, but he bobbled it on the way down. And then Raheem Morris, for some reason, decided he was going to, I guess, review that play. Didn't make much sense. Either way, he did what he did. But you heard him say when we played Raheem Morris on the opposing coaches Zoom there, with him talking about, he was asked about the fact that they've lost like 8 one-score games, and the Chiefs have now won 7 in a row by 1 score. It was a record when they'd done it the week before that, many in a row, and now they've won another one. And I don't think many people thought this was going to be one of those games that was going to go that way. But that's the way it went, and the Chiefs win another 1-score game, 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers win today, not a problem because the Chiefs won. They've taken care of their own business. They are the 1 seed, and they will be off in the first week of the playoffs. Let's hit the phones right now, and let's hope Butch is there now. Butch, hello. You're on the Sports Radio 810 Chiefs postgame show.
Gentlemen, how about those Chiefs?
Well, that was something. That was absolutely something.
You can say that again. Look, I don't know what to make of that game. You know, I tell myself like this. You remember when we were playing? It was 03. We went 13-3. That was probably one of the better seasons in Chiefs history. Right down the stretch, the Chiefs had some games that they fumbled off. They did the same thing against the Minnesota Vikings late in the season. They lost one. Stuff like this happens. You play teams late in the year that you think you're supposed to beat. You think you have them figured out. And then they just come out and they play a very good and disciplined game, and that's what we saw against the Falcons. I'll give you a couple quick ones. I'll get out of your way. The Falcons and their team speed at the second level gave us trouble, big-time trouble. Good job, buddy. I'll be out there in a second. Sorry, that was my son. Sure. We faced a team whose team speed matched our own, and that's why you saw Mahomes when he was dropping back. When he says his reads were muddied, he couldn't see from the third level usually to the second because guys like Deion Jones and A.J. Terrell, they were playing their zone, cover 3 Mabel, press step back, and they were going right to the areas where he wanted to go with the ball. They just did a good job. That was the best defense that I've seen against us for 60 minutes ever. I would say better than San Francisco because they really gave us trouble for 4 quarters. Look, don't get worried about it. We're going to get back to the drawing board. We're going to be able to beat looks like that because we're not going to be in a position where we're just trying to throw to Travis Kelce to get him his numbers so that he reaches the record. We're going to get back to our offense. We're going to get healthy. Hopefully we see Mitchell Schwartz. Do not take this for granted, though, guys. This is the best team we've ever seen. Embrace it. Savor the flavor. Thank you.
All right, Butch, enjoy the rest of the day with your son. You are listening to Chiefs Postgame Show, brought to you in part by CBD American Shaman. And I think there's some truth there. I mean, the Falcons are an interesting team. You know, this team has lost way too many games. They fired their coach, right? They fired their GM. I mean, they are in an uproar. They've got an aging quarterback who's going to be a $40 million hit if they keep him on the cap next year. They've got some talented people. I mean, Calvin Ridley is all you want. I mean, he is all you want. Julio Jones didn't even play today. I mean, Hayden Hurst is a nice tight end. Let's head back into Arrowhead Stadium here now from DeMarcus Robinson, who's meeting with the media.
D-Rob, congrats on the win in Dubai. Couple things. You get the touchdown pass after that sequence where Atlanta might have had the interception and then it was dropped. And then, of course, you're watching that field goal and it tails off. That Arrowhead wind kind of kicked in. Just a reaction on both plays and how both of those sequences turned out.
Man, it was a crazy game. It was a hard fall. It was close. And, I mean, guys were just trying to make plays, man. He made a great play, but unfortunately he didn't end up holding on to it. Then Bucker go down and make a field goal. So it was it was just crazy, man, how the sequence just happened, and then he go down and miss the kick after I score. Man, it was a great day for us.
Let's go next to Blair Kirkhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Hey, DeMarcus, Coach Reed and the offensive coaches will have, or all the coaches will have a decision to make about who to play and who not to play now that you guys have clinched the number 1 seed. My question is, when you were a younger player, did you find that, playing in a lot of snaps in a late season game like this, a Week 17 game, was really helpful to you?
Yes, the experience is always helpful for any of the young guys, and it was helpful for me myself. I'm able to go out and still be confident that I can make plays and still be still keep my head focused, even though we're not moving the ball how we would like to. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, D-Rob, congrats on the win. Can you just walk us through your touchdown?
Man, I was just out there having fun, man. Coach called a great play, and I was just out there trying to execute it, and me and Pat did.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, DeMarcus. Tyreek kind of made a touchdown-saving tackle, it looked like, when he rammed that guy down and the interception knocked the ball away from him. What was your view? I knew you were chasing the guy, too. What was your view of that play?
I thought he was going to be tackled before he did, and he had a lot of blockers out in front of him, actually. So I was just making sure he wasn't going to cut back because I was on the opposite side of the field. And once I seen Tyreek chasing him down, I just started running myself, and I seen him poke the ball out. If I was running the whole play, then I could have got that ball before it went out of bounds.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, DeMarcus, people will say that this wasn't one of Patrick's better games this year, but just what did you see from him, particularly when you knew you guys had to score a touchdown there on that last drive?
Oh, yeah, man. He's a playmaker. He love to make plays, and we just all trying to make plays out here. We love to take shots, and that's what we do, man. And I don't think he had a horrible game. I mean, that's our quarterback, man. He gonna try to do whatever he can to win. He wasn't trying to make mistakes, and we all make mistakes, and we don't try to, but I feel like we just go out and play hard, and if we keep doing that, we'll be all right.
We'll go next and last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, D-Rob, congrats on the win. You'll hear running backs talk a lot about if they don't get carries, it's tough to stay in a rhythm. You only had 2 targets in this game. How tough is it for a wide receiver to be ready for a play as big as you had to score that touchdown at the end?
Man, you just got to always stay ready. Then Sammy went down, and I had to go up and take on his role. So you never know when you're going to get the ball. You can get the ball once or none, and we still win the game or lose the game. And no person can win the game. It was everybody blocking for that play and set it up. It was a scheme we set up. I mean, it wasn't all me. It was the whole team. It was all 11 of us.
Yeah, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank you, guys.
That's Chiefs wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson, who had the game-winning touchdown catch to put the Chiefs up 17-14. They survived a last-minute missed field goal by the Atlanta Falcons to go and win 17-14. 7 games in a row by 1 score ever since the Panthers game. Was that the beginning of this streak? Right after the Jets. And then those Red Hot Jets have won 2 in a row. That's part of the Locker Room Report, brought to you by Twin Peaks, where you'll find wall-to-wall TVs made from scratch food and 29-degree signature beers. Those are cold. Served with the best class in town, Twin Peaks girls. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. Speaking of scenic views, I've got this Facebook chat thing up here, and I see something from Briscoe, who's on vacation. I'm in here working for him, and he says here, I showed the screen to my little sister, and her only comment was, he's bald. I know she's not talking about you, Beards. Is this what I'm going to have to put up with? Briscoe not working, putting things on the chat just
that
to see if I can
all.
read the chat? I'm on to you, Briscoe. I can read the chat. Rudy told me how to do it. Got this up here. Chiefs win 17-14. It was kind of a meh, kind of game. That's just how it is. And those games can be that way, as our last caller said. I mean, they're not all exciting. I've been telling people for about a year and a half now that it's not always going to be thrilling. You know, the Tom Brady Patriots won almost all of their games for 20 years, right? I mean, they didn't have any 8-8 years. They were winning games all the time. And they weren't always exciting, crazy games where they won by, 3 touchdowns and threw five touchdowns in the game. Sometimes it's 17-14 and it's ugly. And that's what the Chiefs had today. And they don't apologize for it. Let's hear from the aging quarterback on the other side, Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons out at Arrowhead Stadium.
There's some really good interior tackles, for the Kansas City Chiefs, and not easy guys to go against. And they held up, so I think both of them We'll have some things they'd like to improve for sure, but that's everybody. For the most part, on balance, I thought they did a nice job the entire day.
You guys were finding a rhythm late in that second half. Did you guys do anything differently, make any adjustments to kind of get in that flow?
No, I think we just, I think we did a pretty nice job the entire day. We just had a few things that kind of got us off schedule, whether it be penalties, missed assignments that kind of put us behind the chains. And going against a good football team like that, they're going to be hard to overcome. I thought we did a better job of staying in front of the chains and executing on first and second down in the second half.
On that last possession, it was a 3rd and 1. Gurley gets a couple yards with under a minute to go to give you guys a first down. Any thoughts, Matt, about taking a timeout there, stop the clock, or are you trying to get them off balance as the clock continued to bleed?
No, I that's not my call, but I thought it was good just to keep them off balance. We had plenty of time from where we were at on the field. We had plenty of time, and we got 3 sets of downs in after that, and had a really good chance for a touchdown on a double move to Calvin, and we just didn't hold up. But no, I thought we did fine there. We gave ourselves a chance.
Many fans in all facets of the league, Matt, want their teams to have the best draft pick available. That's all I think about right now. Can you explain how that contrasts with the mindset of players and coaches?
Yeah, I mean, you understand that from the fans' perspective, but, our job is to go out there and compete and win. And that's what we get, paid to do. And so, it's disappointing. You put out all the hard work in all week, and you go out there and give yourself a chance, and you fall a little bit short. It's tough.
What's your biggest takeaway in this game where you played so well to the defending champs only to have it come up that short?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for guys to learn, number one, what we're capable of, but also number two, how fine the line is in this league between being, 14-1 and being, 4-11. It's not that much. And we've got to grow up and figure out how to not make mistakes in critical situations, make the plays when we have our chances. And if we can do that, I think we can be a pretty good football team moving forward.
Yeah, Coach was telling us that, his takeaway is that you guys can compete and play with anybody in this league, but then you got to get over that hump, right, and win those type of games. That's what you're talking about, those fine points of getting over that hump.
Absolutely. And you never know when it's going to be the play. It's not necessarily the last kick of the game or a 3rd down on the last series of the ball game. There's a handful of different things that come up, whether we miss assignment or miss a play in the first half that, affect the game, just as significantly. And so I think, we've got to learn from those lessons, and we've got to be better, as a whole moving forward.
How surprised were you with Koo's wide right kick, and did you say anything to him afterwards?
Well, I told him afterwards, the next time he's in that situation, he's going to nail it, and to not doubt that for a second. He's had a great year for us. He's been extremely consistent, and his confidence should continue to be at an all-time high. It's part of the game, and you got to move forward.
What do you think about your defense today against Mahomes?
Thought the defense played well. It looked like they kept them out of a rhythm most of the day, and gave us a chance at the end of the game.
Were you pleased with the balance in the rushing attack today, Matt?
Thought we ran the ball effectively for sure. I think, and that helped. That helped us eat up some of the clock, change field position at certain times, and certainly slow down pass rush. And, I thought for the most part, our run game was effective.
Well, you got the nickname Matty Ice for leading these fourth quarter comebacks. It hasn't gone the case this way, but it's just not on the quarterback. Obviously, field goals made, we go on to overtime. But we look big picture between those Matty Ice comebacks in the fourth and what's transpired this year. Is there one or two things that kind of stand out why it's not working out like we've seen in the past from you?
Yeah, I think it's just making a play here or there. And it's really not much more than that. And so, at different times, there's been different guys, but we've got to find a way to make the plays. And again, it goes back to that, how fine the line is between wins and losses and between great teams and teams who are out of the playoffs. And the great teams find ways to get the job done, and they make the plays when they're there.
Many of the so-called experts, as we wrap up, Matt, had you guys losing by double digits, but obviously that wasn't the case. Does it say a lot about the effort, the mentality of this team? You guys are never packing it in?
Yeah, I think, that's one constant that has been here, this entire year is it's a group that is going to fight. It's a group that's going to play hard. and compete every week. And from that standpoint, I think everybody can be pleased with the type of guys we have in our locker room.
Appreciate your time. Safe travels. We'll talk to you this week.
Thanks.
That's Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan out at Arrowhead Stadium. His team loses to the Chiefs today, 17-14. Ryan threw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he had a really nice day, and he got his team down there in position to send the game to overtime against the world champs, and his kicker missed the kick. And he told him, next time you'll make it. Boy, these are awful nice, awful nice. That's a rough kick to miss, man. You have to make that kick. I did think there was an interesting part in there that we were talking about here back in the studio when it happened. When the Falcons did not use a timeout, they kind of elected to go fast. They ended up getting the Chiefs on a penalty and got a free play. So, it didn't end up costing them anything. But I think they probably could have used some regrouping a little bit there. But they got their chances, They got their chances. The Chiefs didn't stone them like I know they would like to do after the kickoff. There was still plenty of time for them to go down and get their work done. They didn't exactly stop them, but they held them up enough and forced the field goal attempt, which did not end up going. Just momentarily, we will hear from Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay as he had a nice day as a starter and forced a fumble. So let's hear now from Willie Gay, Chiefs linebacker at Arrowhead Stadium after the Chiefs win 17-14.
Willie, congratulations on the game. You kind of go through the whole season here. You get a lot of play time today. How would you assess your performance out there? Seemed like you were pretty quick and reacting to the ball well. And I also want to get your thoughts on when you saw that ball kind of make the Arrowhead win and just kind of drift over to the side at the end there.
Well, man, with the first question, man, it was a lot of fun, being able to play as much as I did. We was building on this week, and it wasn't perfect for me, but we came out with the win, and I had a lot of fun. We had fun, and it was a great feeling, man. And at the end with the field goal, I saw it kind of angle off. Man, I was like, oh my God, I know he's not going to miss this kick. And like his first missed kick is the kick to tie the game up, and it gives us the win. So it was a big feeling, man.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Willie, I wanted to ask you about your forced fumble. Did you realize that you had forced that ball out when you first hit it? And just walk us through that play if you can.
Well, man, no, I didn't realize it at first. And when I hit him, I just, rolled off to the side, and I looked back and I saw Darius Harris scoop it up. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty big play, And I was hoping he was going to score, but I was joking with him. He ain't the fastest guy in the room, so it's all good.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Willie, congratulations. I know that Coach Spags has mentioned how much Anthony Hitchens helps you out in the field. How did you guys overcome not having him out there this week?
Man, Hitch is a great leader, man. He really keeps all of us going, all the linebackers, every position. And when he's out, Ben even does a great job. And, today Ben went down, man. So it was like, oh, okay, now we got to, be self-starters. And I told myself I had to, lead the linebackers best way I could, man, vocally, and, show it on the field, do my part, do my job, most importantly. And, came out with the win, man. So it was a lot of fun.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, you were talking about you and Darius and Omari were out there playing today. I'm curious what you thought about playing with those guys. I mean, you worked with them a lot in practice, obviously, but how did they play? And especially Darius looked like he was wearing the green dot.
Oh yeah, man. I was telling those guys, when Ben went down, I was like, man, hey, it's like rookie minicamp all over again. It was just us three out there, doing drills, running over plays. And I told them, if we win this game, I told them this in the second quarter, if we win this game, it'll be, something special, to not have none of the starting linebackers, but just have us, and we did our job, man. And and Darius Harris did a great job, at the end in the fourth quarter, just calling plays and doing his job, so it was big.
Willie, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Sure, thank you.
That's Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay Jr. meeting with the media at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs win 17-14 today. They are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Pittsburgh did come back and win their game against the Colts, but it does not matter. They are not going to be the number 1 seed. They stopped their 3-game losing streak, but they're not going to be the 1 seed. The Chiefs have that clinched, ready to rock and roll now. We will find out as we go this week, maybe how the Chiefs will approach this final game against the Chargers, who are right now playing against the Denver Broncos. The Chargers are up 3-0 in the second quarter. That game is for nothing, except where they're picking in the draft, because they're not going to the playoffs. By the way, we didn't get a chance to talk about this. How good was it last night? I know a lot of Chiefs fans love it when the Raiders lose. Oh, what a mess. Clock management, and then the Fitzmagic, no look, long pass, and get the 15 yards tacked on, and their kicker made the kick for the Dolphins, and they ended up beating the Raiders, who are now officially out of playoff contention. So the Chiefs will be the only team from the West in the playoffs. We're going to hear from Travis Kelce in a little bit. He's getting dolled up, ready to go for the Zoom camera. He set an NFL record for receiving yards by a tight end today. He caught a touchdown pass. So we will hear from him, and then we will get you some Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes as we go as well. In the meantime, let's squeeze in a phone call really quickly here and hear from Steve. Hello, Steve. What do you think about this? DeMarcus Robinson we already had. Steve, welcome to the Postgame Show.
Hi, how are you? Hey, the question I have is, for next week's game, should we just rest the starters?
I don't see any reason to entirely rest them, but I would think I wouldn't play Patrick Mahomes very long, especially depending on who's playing on the offensive line.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I have a follow-up question to that. Say, okay, well, people say, oh, you get rust on them. I say, well, let's don't start the starters. Let's let them sit for the first three quarters and then bring them all in the fourth quarter and let them play. The other team is tired. We come in fresh. You know, they always say, oh, play them in the first and then rest them. No, let the other team get worn out, then we'll bring them in.
I don't think that's a crazy idea. I've never seen anyone do it, but I
know.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. Why not think outside the box? We'll see what Andy does. We know this. You know, when Chase Daniel got to start against the Chargers several years ago, the Chiefs already had their playoff spot wrapped up, right? And then when Patrick Mahomes got to start against the Broncos in Alex Smith's final year, they had their playoff spot wrapped up. I'm guessing there's a chance he doesn't play Patrick Mahomes at all in this game. But I wouldn't mind seeing him play a little bit and just get his feet wet, get out there and kind of go. But I wouldn't try to do anything too fancy.
Well, you know, and if they didn't play him, it would be like 20 days.
It's a long time, yes.
Snaps.
It is a long time. There's no doubt about that. Having the bye week and then not playing it last week can really make it long. But we'll see. I mean, Andy, you're going to talk about it today. He'll talk about it tomorrow. Then he'll talk about it again on Wednesday, and he'll talk about it on Friday. And we won't really know anything until next Sunday. That's what I predict about that. Thanks for the call, Steve.
You bet. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, that's an interesting way. I don't know. Give it that kind of weird look. Why not? Go in there at the end when they're dog tired, let Mahomes come in and play. I wouldn't look for that to exactly happen, but you never know. Our coverage on Facebook Live is brought to you by Five Farms Irish Cream. 'Tis the season to enjoy the world's best Irish cream in your coffee, hot cocoa, or favorite holiday cocktail, or simply on its own. Visit fivefarmsirishcream.com. Follow Five Farms on Facebook and Instagram for signature recipes and more. Happy holidays from Five Farms Irish Cream. And if you'd like to get on there and send us a message on the chat, you can do that as well. I've seen a lot of different things on here from folks, wake this team up. Maybe they need this. No team is invincible. People can't put themselves through this. Some folks missing Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I think is a factor. Le'Veon Bell was okay. I was listening to the pregame show today before the game, and I was agreeing with Seren. Seren was talking about his one to watch was going to be Le'Veon Bell. I thought he would have a much bigger role in this game, and it didn't end up being the case with him. So I was disappointed in maybe what I saw out of Le'Veon Bell. I thought I'd see a little bit more from him, but we'll see how it goes as we move forward. He did not look like he had much burst to him. I thought Darrell Williams did a nice job for him on some of those short plays and busted through, so he was okay, but they just didn't quite have what you'd expect out of someone like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. A couple other folks talking about how the Chiefs look bored. You know what? They did, kind of to me. They looked a little bit bored out there. That's not the first time I've seen the Chiefs look a little bit bored, but they definitely looked a little lethargic out there today. A win is a win is a win. That is true. We say this a bunch. You don't apologize for winning in the National Football League. because it is difficult to do. We watched that last week. The Los Angeles Rams are fighting for the first place in the NFC West, and they lost to the Jets, who hadn't won a game all year. The Cleveland Browns fighting for first place today. They lost to the Jets today as well. Pittsburgh Steelers are leaking oil, making a mess all over the football field for 2 weeks in a row. Well, they're certainly going to beat the Bengals on Monday Night Football, right? They'll kind of fix it all. No, they lost that one. And that made it to where this game today against the 4-win Falcons was going to allow the Chiefs to wrap up home field advantage, of which they did. So congratulations to the Chiefs for doing that. They'd already wrapped up the division in a playoff spot and all that. And now they've got a bye, which is pretty cool. It took so much work to get the bye last year. If you recall, that was the week 17 of the NFL season. They had to have the kind of scrappy little Dolphins team beat the big bad Patriots. And that happened. And then the Chiefs won. And the whole thing is history at that point. So it's not easy just to win games. You just don't roll your hat out there and get it done. And the Chiefs kind of looked like they rolled the hat out there a little bit. Calling their little funky play on 4th down. There's got to be something Sammy Watkins can do with that ball besides throw it there. There was someone wide open and shorter. But these plays, we saw it happen in Tampa, right? Where Travis Kelce tried to throw the ball. He should have just run it in. They got to quit trying to throw a touchdown pass to Patrick Mahomes. We don't need that anymore. Run your fun plays, but have another option besides throwing it there. Let's move next to Kyle on the phones. 913-381-0810 is the phone number. Kyle, you're on the Chiefs postgame show.
Hey, how's it guys going? I hope you guys had a wonderful Merry Christmas.
Hope you did too.
Let's have a wonderful Happy New Year, and let's kick 2020 to the road.
Right.
Well, my first take of the game is you're absolutely right. You're not going to have blowouts, game after game after game. We all know that. This is the NFL. Here's what I want to say. Patrick Mahomes, as much pressure as he is under, I am just so impressed how calm and relaxed he looks. And he doesn't look phased. I mean, when he's under pressure, I just can't believe the throws that he makes. And we have seen quarterbacks the Chiefs have had in the past, and they just could not handle the pressure. And Patrick Mahomes has done every bit. I'm just so blessed to have Patrick Mahomes as our quarterback. It just amazes me. It's fun to watch him every Sunday because you never know what he's going to do next. And that's one thing I wanted to call. And then another thing too is our defense. I thought they played outstanding today. Just getting to pressure under Matt Ryan and helping our offense out of jams, because there are times where we cannot rely on Mahomes every game, and we have to have a game where our defense shows up. And I thought our defense played good today. I just thank you guys for letting me call in. I'll listen off the air.
All right, Kyle, good call. I agree. Mahomes he's got that something special. He doesn't get too rattled. If you're going to get rattled, today was the day to get rattled. He threw an interception trying to throw a touchdown to Travis Kelce. They got returned, flipped the field 50 yards. Threw an interception that A.J. Terrell dropped, right? You get second life, and you go and you throw a touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson right afterwards. I mean, he does those things. And he was excited when they won this game. You saw the footage when the kick went wide right. He was fired up, man. It still means something to Patrick Mahomes to win every game, no matter who you're playing or what. So we love that about him. His effort and his demeanor is great. Absolutely great. So, all right, let's take a quick break here on the Chiefs postgame show. Remember, CBD American Shaman is one of our sponsors, and this is not the greatest special ever because they only scored 17 points. But when Kansas City scores, you score big at your local CBD American Shaman. When the Kansas City team scores, you get that percentage off. So 17% off all day tomorrow at CBD American Shaman. American Shaman, life is better with the feather.
Chiefs postgame, brought to you by Casey's Own CBD American Shaman. Come on into your local shaman store for a free sample of stress-sacking CBD. Everything is better with the feather.
Newsmax TV is exploding, and everyone's talking about it. Now, a survey says 30 million Americans are watching Newsmax TV all the time. Millions are turning off big cable news, and President Trump says he loves Newsmax. So watch it, and make sure you vote in Newsmax's national poll asking about President Trump conceding the election. It takes a minute. Just text the word OPEN to 39747 and vote instantly. President Trump wants to know your opinion, so text OPEN to 39747 and vote instantly in Newsmax's poll. Plus, watch Newsmax TV with great shows including Dick Morris, Rudy Giuliani, Michelle Malkin, Diamond and Silk, Mike Huckabee, Greg Kelly, Sean Spicer, and more. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Check your guide or tell your cable operator you want Newsmax like everyone else. Watch Newsmax TV today and vote in their big poll on Trump. Text OPEN to 39747 and let your voice be heard.
This holiday season, your Kansas City Acura dealers are supporting Patrick Mahomes' charity 15 and the Mahomies. Test drive any Acura before December 31st, and they'll make a donation for every test drive, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a Patrick Mahomes signed jersey. They're offering the best deals of the year on every Acura in stock, including the 2020 MDX with 0.9% APR financing for qualified buyers. It's the Season of Performance event at your Kansas City Acura dealer. APR ends January 4th. PMC edition excluded. See dealer for details.
Scott Graham from Westwood One with a Sunday night football preview. It's a great primetime matchup with the Tennessee Titans traveling to Green Bay. While Aaron Rodgers and the 11-3 Packers have clinched their division, the 10-4 Titans are in a battle with the Colts for theirs. Can league-leading rusher Derrick Henry and the Tennessee offense pick up the crucial win? Join us to find out on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football on Sports Radio 810 is presented by the University of Kansas Health System and Premier Mazda.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Is your fireplace as ready as you are for game season? Trust Complete Home Concepts certified chimney sweeps for annual service. Call 816-471-HOME. That's 816-471-HOME. Is your fireplace as ready as you are for game season? Trust Complete Home Concepts certified chimney sweeps for annual service. Call 816-471-HOME. That's 816-471-HOME.
Ryan Lawn & Tree was recently voted the best landscaping company by KC Magazine. Winter is the best time to complete your outdoor projects so that you can enjoy your breathtaking outdoor oasis this spring. We specialize in projects that include outdoor kitchens, patios, pergolas, outdoor lighting, sunrooms, decks, and much more. Our designers are ready to create an outdoor living space that is uniquely yours. Kansas City owned and operated since 1987, Ryan Lawn & Tree is the company for all your landscaping needs. Visit us at ryanlawn.com today.
LMC Truck, located right here in Kansas City, offers quality parts and accessories for Chevy, GMC, Ford, and Dodge trucks, SUVs, and vans. At lmctruck.com, their website features the same detailed interactive artwork as the catalog. Restoring old memories or just getting started on new ones, LMC Truck is here to help. They are more than just parts. Trucks are a lifestyle. They understand that. LMC Trucks helps you live it. Just go to lmctruck.com. LMC Truck, keeping generations on the road.
WHB Kansas City. Mahomes standing in and delivering. It is a touchdown. Travis Kelce on the receiving end.
The Tully touchdown of the game, presented by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tullamore Dew is the original triple-blended, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey made exactly for these great moments in fandom. Please drink Tullamore Dew responsibly.
That's Travis Kelce catching a touchdown. Really needed that touchdown at the end of the first half. You know, the Chiefs have been so lethargic, had punted the ball so many times in the first quarter, then threw the interception. Sammy Watkins threw the interception, trying to hit Patrick Mahomes, and they finally got on the board late. So that's Travis Kelce with the play of the game there. Wonderful for him, right? It was just kind of a game for Travis Kelce, But you look up, he had 7 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. You know how many tight ends would love to someday have a 98-yard, 7-catch day and a touchdown? They'd love it. But they don't. It just doesn't happen for all these guys. You get used to these crazy numbers with him, double digits and 150 yards or something like that. It's just your average, regular old, well, if you're a fantasy football player, right? If you're a PPR guy, what do you got, 16, 22 points on that one? That's not bad. Not bad. A lot of people would love to have that, but it just looks like a day for him. And he went over 1,400 yards, set a record, and 100 catches, only tight end in league history to have 2 100-catch seasons. Travis Kelce continues to just be a beast for the Chiefs. We will hear from him in just a few minutes here from Arrowhead Stadium, and also Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But in the meantime, let's hear from Mark on the phones. Hello, Mark. You're on the Chiefs postgame show.
Hey, Lebo, can you hear me?
I got you, buddy.
All right, so here's my question. Number one, earlier you used a $5 word. You talked about Patrick Mahomes' demeanor.
Oh, boy, fancy word.
I know, and I thought you went to the University of Oklahoma. That sounds more like an Oklahoma State word.
No, Oklahoma State word would say his feelings, how he looked. No, I'm kidding.
I'm teasing you. But number one, to me, one of the biggest plays today, and nobody's talked about it, and I think it was Williams, was running down close. I think it was in the red zone. But he had maybe a 4-yard gain, a 6-yard gain, and then every member of the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line came behind him, and all of a sudden it turned into an 11-yard gain.
Yeah, for a first down.
Yes. And that's what this team has, that spirit. And I'll tell you what, we can say Patrick was off today. Lord, everybody's human. And yet he brought, that fourth quarter win. This team has spirit.
Oh, they definitely do. And they have such a togetherness. You mentioned that play with the offensive line, pushing guys, and the defense picked the offense up today. And, the special teams, we remember all the fear everyone had about 2 months ago of Harrison Butker missing extra points. How good has he been? I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but Harrison Butker's been just
that
great.
53-yarder was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing to it. They went out there and did it. He had a 2-week stretch that wasn't very good, and he's been nailed since then. And then you look up, and the Atlanta Falcons have a Pro Bowl kicker who goes out there, and all he's got to do is make a short kick, and they go to overtime against the champs, and they miss it. And this team has lost 8 games by 1 score or less, and the Chiefs are on a streak of winning 7 in a row by 1 score or less. And I don't
Which is an NFL record.
Yeah, and it's a strength. Now, sure, you'd like to have beaten the Falcons by 2 touchdowns because you're supposed to be that much better than them. But when you get in a dogfight at home and you make your own mistakes and, throw a couple interceptions and do some things that get yourself in a dogfight, you'd much rather go win that game by less than a score than lose it by less than a score, and that's what the Chiefs did today.
I think Coach Reid believes in these guys, and they believe in him, and they believe in each other.
Oh, that's for sure.
It's quite a testament.
Yeah,
it's quite a testament.
They really do. The sad part for us when we cover this team this year is we don't get to go into the locker room or be around the guys. Everything we do is via Zoom. It's all virtual. But I said this a bunch of times last year on the air, that I'd never in my life around an NFL team been in a locker room where the guys seem to get along so well and have such great camaraderie. And I think it really helped them when they were down 24 points, right, to the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Or they were down by 10 points in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. They just believed in each other and found that they would find a way to win. Now, of course, it helps you if you have the best tight end in the game and you have, if not the best, one of the best wide receivers in the game. And if you have the best quarterback in the game, it always helps to have that. And, by the way, Chris Jones is a special defensive player,
He is.
Frank Clark got a $100 million contract. Frank Clark finally, gosh, he's been just kind of like non-existent for like 7 weeks.
I wondered if he had injuries earlier. But
yeah, that's another thing we just don't know when we don't get to go out there and talk to these guys or see these guys. Because one of the things that would happen in the locker room is even if you're not doing an interview in the locker room, you just get to go over there and talk for 20 seconds to someone. How you feeling? What's going on? And we don't get that stuff anymore. We just basically get what the Chiefs give us on the Zooms. So hopefully
next year, Lebo.
Hopefully it'll be open next year and we'll get out there and get some different information for you. But yeah, because you just don't know what's going on with these guys sometimes. But it was nice to see Frank Clark get after it. It was nice to see Chris Jones continue to do it. And you know what? L'Jarius Sneed he's got 2 sacks in the last 2 weeks. He's been a really good rookie. It's been really good to see.
And interceptions in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's probably not going to win the defensive rookie of the year, but he should. He's outstanding.
A 4th rounder.
Yeah.
Again, Brett Beach. Kudos.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for the call, Mark. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care.
Happy holidays to you. Yeah, the Chiefs just do it, man. They find a way to get it done, and they do play well together. And you saw, it looked to me like the defense felt like the offense, need a little pick-me-up, right? After Mahomes threw the pick down by the end zone that they ran out, the Chiefs had 2 sacks right after that, right? That was the drive where they had 2 sacks right after it and pushed them. They were just about down, getting close to field goal range on that nice return, and they, sack. It's crazy. Right afterwards, and then they got the ball back. And, of course, the Chiefs didn't do anything with it. They had to punt it. But, that's where you need the defense to come through for you. And the Chiefs haven't been some dominant defense, okay? But this was pretty good stuff today. You hold the Falcons to 14 points. The Falcons haven't been a fantastic team this year. Obviously they haven't won. Their coach got fired. Usually fantastic teams, coaches don't get fired. They've just lost a lot of close games. But they scored 27 points last week against Tampa. They only scored 17 against the Chargers the week before that and 16 against the Saints, but they scored 43 points against the Raiders. They had that game against the Cowboys earlier this year that was 40-39. They battled the Seahawks to 38-25. They put 40 on the Vikings. This is a team that scores some, and the Chiefs held them to 14 points. That's just pretty good. I think their season low was 9 against the Saints, who have a very good defense. So that's pretty good. The Chiefs' defense really helped them out, and they really do play complimentary football. I was texting with my friends, when this game was coming down near the end, and they're like, all right, is Mahomes going to do it? And the answer is, of course, Mahomes is going to do it. Even on the drive where Mahomes made a horrible throw, which A.J. Terrell should have intercepted. You give the guy a second chance, forget about it. He goes off and he throws a touchdown to Demarcus Robinson. We said almost too soon, but I told you guys he was going to miss that kick. But because that's the way it works out for the Chiefs. 913-381-0810 is the phone number, 913-381-0810. You can also get on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We've got all of the chats coming straight into the studio here. We got one coming in here. I'm more encouraged by our defense than I am discouraged by our offense. Mahomes will get it figured out. I believe that way. I don't think the league has figured Patrick Mahomes out. By the way, he still threw a couple of touchdown passes today and led them on a fourth quarter comeback drive to win the game. Now, I do think, I've said this many times, and this is not some sort of a slight on Patrick Mahomes, because he's the MVP. He's the Super Bowl MVP. He's got a $500 million contract he deserves. He's a wonderful person who does great things in the community and is the perfect guy you'd like to have running your franchise. But he gets lucky sometimes, and I've said this before too. I'd rather have a guy who's great with all the talent in the world and a little bit lucky than someone like Matt Ryan, who seems to not be very lucky. They've lost all these games this year. They had a 25-point lead on the freaking Patriots in the Super Bowl when he was the MVP, and they couldn't find a way to win. Got a little unlucky here and there. They didn't do the greatest things in the world trying to kill that clock, but remember, that was the batted ball around and extends the drive for the Patriots, those kind of things. Patrick Mahomes threw a horrible pass today that got picked off, and they ran it back, and Tyreek Hill almost got the ball back for the Chiefs by forcing a fumble. Then he threw a horrible pass that a first-round cornerback, this isn't some guy off the streets, A.J. Terrell. This dude went to Clemson. He's a first-round cornerback, had 2 hands on, and dropped. All right? There's this stat out there called interceptable passes. And the rate of interceptable passes that get caught by people against Patrick Mahomes is low. I like that. I want that guy on my team. I don't want the guy who throws. At one point this year, Russell Wilson had thrown, I think, 11 interceptable passes, and 10 of them had been picked off. That's unlucky. It's normally, I don't know, 50-50 or something like that. At that same time this year, Mahomes had thrown 8 and 1 had gotten picked off. It's kind of caught up with him a little bit, because he threw the ones 2 weeks ago against the Dolphins, and he threw 1 today. But think about that. He should have thrown probably 3. Definitely should have thrown 2. The one that number 91 didn't catch was a little harder catch, but last week he threw the one that the safety dropped, should have been caught, and then he threw the one this week that A.J. Terrell didn't catch. So I'll take the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, and I'll take a little bit of luck too. That's always good for you. A little bit of luck is always a good thing. All right, 913-381-810 is the number. We're going to take one call, and then we'll go hear from Travis Kelce next, and then we'll hear from Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Hello, Norm. You're on the Postgame Show.
Hey, good afternoon, fellas.
How you doing?
Fine. I actually had to start my fireplace last night here in Orlando. We got to 40 degrees. That's
my
pretty cold
goodness.
here.
That's the thin blood down there. You're in trouble, man.
Yeah, well, I've been here about 11 years. I'm from Kansas City. Anyway, hey, I just want to let you all know, I watched a game at this place called the Gators. It's a big sports bar. There's a lot of Chiefs fans, believe it or not, that are down here. And we're all kind of thinking the same thing. It just seems, I don't know if the Chiefs just think everything's going to go their way every game, because they didn't look good at all today. And playing against the Falcons defense that's really, given up a bunch of leads, blown a lot of big leads, it seems like they held their own against us. So I was just wanting to get your opinion on that, and if we think maybe this is a good reality check for the Chiefs, that they just can't go into these games taking everything for granted, because they should have got beat today. They really should have. So,
Yeah, they easily could have.
anyways,
Yeah, thanks for the call, Norm. Enjoy the
let you go.
40s tonight. Hope it doesn't get too cold on you, okay?
all right. Thanks, guys. Take
All right,
care.
that's Norm in Orlando calling in. I do think the Chiefs, I don't know if it's some mental thing that they just know it's going to work out for them, but you shouldn't win 7 games in a row by 1 possession. The percentage would say you'll lose 1 of those or 2 of them. But what we saw today was the fact that the Falcons shouldn't have 8 losses by 1 possession this year. They should probably have won a couple of those accidentally somehow. And they haven't, though. So something's wrong with them, and something's right with the Chiefs. And if you're asking me what I'd rather do, I'd rather be the fan of the team that something's right about. So you're asking me if I'd rather be a Chiefs fan or a Falcons fan. It's pretty simple right now. The Falcons were in the Super Bowl. That wasn't that long ago, right? A lot of these same guys are on that team. And now they're going to be going through another coach. They fired a Super Bowl coach during this year. That's where they are. And the Chiefs just go out there and sometimes roll the hat out there and don't look very good, and they just win all these games. I don't know if they're going to win next week. I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see kind of how they approach the game, if they're going to go all out for it and try to win the thing or not, or they may even have to try to win, because you know who they're going to play? The Chargers. You know what the Chargers do? They're kind of like the Falcons. They lose almost all these games like this. They've lost one like this to the Chiefs earlier this year. That's the game the Chiefs had to go overtime to win. So I don't expect the Chargers to come beat the Chiefs, because they're that team that loses as well. You're listening to the Chiefs Postgame Show, brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Live wide open. Play the $5 Ride to Riches Scratchers game from Missouri Lottery and win up to $100,000 instantly. Play it forward and play responsibly. What should we do next, Beards? You want to hear from Travis Kelce now? All right, let's hear from Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, who had the big touchdown catch and had 98 yards receiving and set a bunch of records today.
Hey, Travis, 2 big-time records broken today, man. What does it mean to have your name etched in history like that?
It's cool to be a part of, and the real record I'm proud of right now is that it's the first time the Chiefs have ever been 14-1, and we're going to try and make it 15-1 next week. I really don't get caught up in the personal accolades. I work my tail off to just try and be the best teammate and the best player I can be for this organization, on and off the field. And getting recognized like that is it's awesome, because my teammates, my coaches, the people in this building are proud of me in that regard. And heck, it can make my family extremely happy, give them something they can talk smack to the person next to them. But at the end of the day, it's just there's always more to accomplish in a team game.
Let's go next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Travis, one quick question, then a quick follow-up. I know we've asked you about this a lot of times, but what is it that you'd point to that you think allows you and Patrick to have this like almost ESP with each other? It just seems like you guys know how to find each other in the most crucial moments.
I think it's just trust. A lot of hard work put in, a lot of time spent, and just being on the same page as Pat. I mean, he's got everybody in the world after him every single play because he's the one with the ball in his hand, and I just try and make it easier for him, as well as Tyreek, me, Cole, Sammy, and all the backs. Like we just go out there and we try and do our best to get open as fast as possible for him, and it just kind of happens to play out that when adversity hits, Pat Mahomes plays his best.
And just the other thing is, I know everybody's banged up this time of year, but it looked like you came limping back in at one point, and maybe you came down hard on your shoulder earlier. Can you just sort of describe what your body's going through this time of year, and did you have to shrug off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you got to walk a few things off. You got to kind of regroup, let the discomfort or the pain settle, and just go back out there and keep playing, knowing that the guy next to you is going through something similar, or he could be going through something similar, and I love being there for these guys. I love being there for the coaching staff, for the organization, for Chiefs Kingdom when it matters most.
Let's go next to Matt.
Got a lot of honor and pride in that.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
Hey, Travis, big touchdown there at the end of the first half, tied the game. Can you just walk us through that play?
Yeah, I mean, when it was called, I believe the clock was kind of ticking down on us, so Pat spit it out real quick. And, I think Sammy might have missed a few things on it, but as he motioned over, we figured it out, and sure enough, Pat was right on time with the throw, and I was able to, just barely get across the goal line, but that's all you need.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Travis, you guys have the #1 seed for the second time in 3 years, as you know. You feel like it's more important than ever this year because you guys are the only team, at least in the AFC, that was going to get that first round bye?
I mean, it's important every year to be able to get a week off, or I'm sorry, a week of preparation. A week of really locking in and getting the body right that late in the season is it's so key, and it's much needed if you want to really make that playoff push. And that's what you work your tail off for all season. And I'm just proud to be a part of this team to be able to do it yet again this year.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Travis, can you sort of pinpoint what didn't work for the majority of the game and what exactly worked maybe better on that final scoring drive?
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons are a good football team. Don't let the score or their previous games deter you from that. I mean, that team has a lot of guys that play their tail off, great coaches, and it seems like guys that play for each other. They rally around on defense, and offensively they got a lot of talent over there, and it's just trying to find a way to win a football game. There's just so many different factors that can play into why things aren't going as great or as smooth as you want them to. And you just try, after every single play, regroup, figure out what just happened and how to fix it. And the next play or the next drive, go out there and try and, accomplish the goal, which is to put 6 up. But hats off to the defense. The defense played their tails off to hold that offense under, 20 points or whatever they scored. To hold them to only a couple scores, man, that's that's second to none. That really pushed us through to help us win the game.
Let's go next to Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Patrick. I'm sorry, Travis. Congratulations on the record. A couple of questions for you. I'm interested, in knowing your thoughts on playing in a Week 17 game that has no bearing on you all in the playoff series. But are you someone who hopes to continue to play next week, or do you think sitting out 3 weeks is the way to go? And then also, since we probably won't have you on this week, could you talk a little bit about the virtual chat that you all did with the Old Spice and talking about speaking out against racism with the students?
Yeah, I'll talk on that first off.
Old Spice came together with a lot of the NFL, or a couple NFL players, and really wanted to get in the communities to help support young men graduating in the high school rank. And with that, we all teamed up with the Black Boy documentary, which a couple NFL guys have been a part of, Malcolm Jenkins being one, and unbelievable job of really getting a good grasp of what it means to be a young Black male in America, and how prideful you should be of that. And that there's a lot of stuff that's going on around the world and around this country that's, it's not fair and it's unjust. And to be able to get into the classrooms and talk to these kids, let them know that they are appreciated and that they are, they do have support to become somebody, and just to have that support system. I thought it was a great initiative, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it. And going to that week 17, I believe that starts maybe next year. But in terms of this year, okay, so in terms of next week, I get what you're saying now. So game 16, but week 17 of the season. I would say I'm just going to come in on Wednesday and get ready to work, man. And it is what it is. If I end up suiting up and I get a chance to play against the Chargers, then you'll see me out there giving it my all. And if not, then I'll be out there cheering on my guys and trying to be every bit of a part of the game that I can be for you guys.
We'll go last. Steve Walls. Good, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Travis? Fans want you guys to go out and always show your high-powered offense and blow teams out. It seems like you guys sometimes play down to your competition. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
And this league is, it can get very confusing to a lot of people. They think since we have the best quarterback and two great receivers and, a defensive line, sack nation, they think that we should just go out there and just dominate every single game, every single play. And that's not reality. What's reality is that, these guys on these other teams, and all these teams are coming in here knowing that they're going up against a good football team. So they get geared up, they get fired up, and their attention, their alertness is that much more locked in. And, it's just, it's playing ball. It is what it is. You have to respect the guys across from you and know that you're going to get their best shot. And I mean, sometimes you just have to find a way to win a football game, and that's what we did.
That's Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Let's make him our Bud Light player of the game. Football is back, and Bud Light is with you all season long. Bud Light, the official beer of your Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce set the record for receiving yards by a tight end in his season, and they still have next week to go. Whether he plays or not, we don't know. But 1,416 yards is what he has now, broke George Kittle's record. And he also caught 100 passes now for the second time as a tight end, first tight end to do that. So great season for Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 98 yards, and that touchdown right before half that kind of got the team going. Let's check in on the phones with Jay. Hello, Jay. You're on the Chiefs postgame show.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I'm pretty disappointed about today, to be honest with you. I mean, sure, the 1 seed is great, but you're playing a dejected and, frankly, terrible Atlanta Falcons team. And to trot out like that and to be looking at a potential overtime situation with Matt Ryan driving down the field, and the only reason we're not talking about overtime is because their kicker missed it. I mean, listen, you're not going to be playing any 4-win teams come January, and I'm just not. This offense looks like they've been off a tick all season. Sure, is this a one-loss team? Yeah, that's incredible. But this is the type of game you should be blowing out, and I respect Kelce and his comments on that. But at the end of the day, this is a terrible Atlanta Falcons team, and you trotted out, and these guys were flat today, and frankly have been. You're going to play some great teams like the Titans and the Bills, and probably the Ravens. That game plan today isn't going to work.
Yeah, don't you think it's kind of – they really have been, and we say this a bunch, played at the level of the competition. I thought they had lots of fire last week down at the Saints,
Yeah.
And they just didn't have it as much this week. It's just human nature, I guess, too. They probably got told all week, after Pittsburgh lost on Monday night, oh, you got the 1 seed all wrapped up, blah, blah, blah. It's Christmas. The schedule's a little weird this week. They didn't have to, it's just the whole thing's been weird, I think. I'll give them a little bit of a pass on this one, I guess is what I'm saying. Because they won. I mean, they won. A lot of teams play like crap. The Steelers have played like crap for like 5 weeks, and they ended up losing 3 of them. They won that Ravens game. Remember that 2 in the afternoon game or whatever it was? And they beat the Cowboys. But they played like garbage in all those games. And they pulled some of them out, but they lost some of them. And the Chiefs have just won them all. It's crazy.
Listen, I agree with you. And I'm not trying to be, I know you guys call it Nitpick Monday. But I will disagree with, I've heard Jason Anderson and Soren, who I totally respect and listen to every day. On the 810 podcast. Listen, I don't buy into the narrative of, this offense is better than last year's or years before. I don't buy that one bit. I mean, these guys are out of sync, Todd, and they've really been out of sync in almost every game except maybe the Baltimore game. I mean, Pat Mahomes, the passes are just off the tick. There's drops. I mean, it's I do believe when Andy Reid says, hey, there's a lot to clean up. There is a lot to clean up. These wide receivers are it's just off the tick. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
They weren't. They definitely have been a little bit of out of sorts. There's been some, passes that were just bad, that were 3 yards short, 5 yards over. Some balls that should have been intercepted that weren't. Some balls that actually did get intercepted. They haven't. We all remember like the first month of the 2018 season when Patrick would throw 4, 5, or 6 touchdowns in a game. Well, it's not like that all the time. It can't be like that all the time. But they kind of had one of those days against Tampa during this streak, right? When Tyreek had 250 yards in the first half or something?
Well, no, because they had a half of it.
Right, a half. And, of course, it got down to a one-score game because that's what happens. But I get you.
That's what they do. And I guess where I get scared is, sure, will they get they had a great game against Baltimore. I'm not going to go through every game. They've had some great games where they are in sync, right? But the fact that, it seems like those are becoming fewer and far in between. And to think that these guys are going to string together 3 or 4 games in a row where they're suddenly magically in sync, I just don't see it, especially against a team like Tennessee. They can put up 35 or 40 points. They got Derrick Henry. I mean, I'm not going to go,
Well, yeah.
They're going to probably go up again.
Well, remember this, Jay. They were out of sync for about every playoff game, too, last year, and they won all those. So I don't know, man. I'm with you. I'm going to cheer you up, though, okay, Jay? You're going to be our caller. You're going to be our caller of the day. You're going to win a Missouri Lottery prize pack, okay? Hang on the phone for me, all right?
I appreciate that, Todd. I love the show, man.
All right, thanks for calling in. That's Jay. He's going to win some Missouri Lottery Scratchers tickets. Play the $5 Ride to Riches Scratchers game. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly. So there you go. Jay's a little down because they haven't been all that smooth. Let's make him happier by giving him some Missouri Lottery tickets. By the way, my daughter, we got some Missouri Lottery Scratchers, in the stockings over at my mom's house. We were masked up having that. My daughter got a $50 winner. Are you kidding me, man? What is that about? I didn't get a $50 winner. I did win $2, but my daughter got a $50 winner. So good for her on her Missouri Lottery Scratchers. Not bad. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the postgame show. We will hear next from Chiefs head coach Andy Reid as we roll along. The Chiefs win 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. They are the number 1 seed in the AFC.
You're listening to live postgame coverage on Kansas City's home for the National Football League. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except the Subaru Share the Love event.
That's right, McCall. Subaru will donate $250 for every new Subaru vehicle sold or leased from November 19, 2020 through January 4, 2021.
Get paid Kelley Blue Book retail for your trade-in, or how about as low as 0% financing on select 2021 Subaru models.
We're family-owned, not an out-of-town dealer who you'll never see.
Have some fun this holiday and fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Hello, Kansas City. Christopher Youngers here with Cafe Trio, back open and ready to safely serve you. We've modified our AC to only pull in fresh outside air, meaning you can comfortably dine with us inside or outside. And if you're outside enjoying our deck and patio bar, our new misting fans and premium frozen slushies we call Blondies will keep you nice and cool. So dine in or out safely, fresh air, frozen drinks, socially distanced, incredible dining. Kind of makes you wish you were already there, doesn't it? 45th and Main, CafeTrioKC.com.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who refuse to let happy hour end without squeezing in one more round. The type of guys who would rather sweat from unspeakable places than stop eating the spiciest wings on the menu. And the men who still chuckle when they order their wings bone in. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
At first glance, a single ticket from the Missouri Lottery may not look like much. Maybe you just see bright colors and carefully placed ink. But because your ticket helps support Missouri public education, we see your ticket as something more. We see the opportunities it creates. So the next time you look at your ticket, see the real difference you're making. Thank you for playing it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
Rock your home with new tops from Kansas City's best countertop fabricator, Rock Tops. They custom fabricate and install stone surfaces that will make you fall in love with your home. Making homes look incredible is Rock Tops' thing. Being nice just comes naturally. Rock Tops offers carry-out samples and virtual or in-home appointments. Call 913-782-0802 or go to rocktopskc.com. Mention 810 Rocks to receive 10% off right now.
Ho, 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 they gotta go. Robert Brogdon Buick GMC is offering employee pricing on new vehicles during their biggest sale of the year. Right now, you'll pay what they pay for a brand new Buick or GMC. Plus, additional discounts and rebates are available. You'll save up to 40% below MSRP on new models like the 2021 Buick Encore GX or GMC Sierra. Visit robertbrogdon.com or see him in person at I-35 in Santa Fe and Olathe. On select models includes all available incentives and rebates, plus tax tag, title, and fees. Trade required. Must qualify and finance through GMF or Ally. See dealer for details.
Our friends at CBD American Shaman are calling an audible for our listeners, so listen close. When Kansas City scores, you score big at your local Shaman store the day after the game. If Kansas City puts up 30 points, it's 30% off the next day at your local CBD American Shaman. If they put up 50 points, you got it. 50% off the very next day. Now that's a big win. American Shaman, life is better with the feather.
Jerry is a 71-year-old Kansan.
This is Jerry.
Jerry is here to tell every Kansan to get a free COVID test to protect him and everyone else.
Get a COVID test, and I don't want to hear your belly aching.
Jerry doesn't want to hear your belly aching. He knows testing is one of the best ways to stop the spread and protect seniors. Like Jerry.
No grumbling, no complaining, no squawking.
You've been old-schooled. Get a free COVID test, wear a mask, and keep your distance. Stop the spread. It's up to us, Kansas.
Stop by Premier Mazda today and save thousands. Right now, 0% APR for 60 months plus $750 APR bonus cash. And no payments for 90 days on any new 2020 Mazda. Premier Mazda is the 2019 President's Club winner and the largest Mazda dealer in KC. Right now, it's the Kickoff to Savings event at Premier. Get 0% financing for 60 months and no payments for 90 days. And take advantage of the Kingdom bonus when you mention this ad. Find out why Premier Mazda is Kansas City's best. Right past State Line and 135th or at PremierMazdaKC.com.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
One thing the Falcons have done today is possess the football. Approaching 28 minutes of holding the football to the Chiefs' 21. Keeping their offense off the field. Fake to Hill. Ryan standing in, comes back across to Powell, who's open, looking to make a move, and then lost the football at the end. It's picked up by the Chiefs. No signal, it's Harris. Kansas City football. Willie Gay was the guy that punched it out, I do believe.
The play of the game was presented by Central Bank of the Midwest. Take a new look at what's possible with Central Bank of the Midwest. Visit centralbank.net.
You heard it right there. The play of the game brought to you by Central Bank. Tough pickings today. Sometimes there's 15 great plays. We would have had a better chance of doing 10 ugly plays of the game today. But we're only going to do one of those. Stay tuned for that. Let's hear now from Andy Reid as he spoke with the media after the game. Chiefs win 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. They avoid overtime when Younghoe Kim misses a field goal at the end, which would have forced overtime for the Falcons. But the Falcons lose these games, and the Chiefs win these games. So, of course, their Pro Bowl kicker missed the kick, and the Chiefs got to celebrate and didn't have to go overtime. So now they're home. Players are probably home. The sun's out, man. And then we'll see. Andy's going to talk about a little bit here kind of how they're going to work with Week 17, but he's not going to tell us exactly what they're going to do. I promise you that. May not tell us on Friday exactly what they're going to do against the Chargers, but the Chiefs have the 1 seed, which is important. They get a chance to have a bye. It was a big deal for the Chiefs last year to get that bye. They did not think they were going to have a bye when they were heading into Week 17, which was a confusing question for Travis Kelce, if you noticed earlier. Week 17 is the 16th game. I know these guys get fixed in their little mind on what's going on, but they needed that bye week last year. It was big for them, and there's only one bye now. Only one bye, and they got that bye week going for them. All right, so now let's hear from Big Red. First up, he tells us about the injuries and talks about getting this chance to maybe rest some players. They got this win today.
Okay, good. Really, the two injuries are Ben Neiman has a right hamstring strain, and Sammy Watkins has a calf strain. So, listen, I'm proud of the guys, man. 14-1. There's nothing to shake your head at. I thought we did a good job in the red zone. For the most part, there's one we'd like to have back, but for the most part, we did okay. There's situational football with a 2-minute drive at the end, the big sack before the field goal with 55 and 95, and they were in there quite a little bit throughout the day. On the pass rush, the young linebackers, to finish the game, were flying around and making plays. Snead, another young guy, flying around and making plays. And then when it's all said and done, you've got a bye week and coming up after our next game. So, and that's there are only 2 teams that'll have that this year, one on each, one in the AFC and NFC. So that becomes important. We can use that as a healing time and get ourselves back healthy and ready to roll. So, and with that, we'll get ourselves ready this next week to play against a good Chargers football team. And I haven't made any decisions. I would never do that before a game where I'm depending on somebody else and or myself, with that. So I wasn't banking on Pittsburgh winning or anything else or losing. So I haven't made any decisions there. So if you're going to go that direction, you can just ask another question. All right.
There you go. Headed off at the pass. I told you he wasn't going to tell us what's going to go on. And I'm going to predict this tomorrow. He's going to meet with the media. He's not going to tell you what's going on then either. He's going to do it again on Wednesday, and he's going to do it again on Friday. Maybe he'll tell you sometime. I don't know. We'll see. Friday's New Year's Day. Maybe he'll sneak it out while everyone's thinking about other bowl games and stuff like that. You're listening to the Chiefs postgame show on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Chiefs win 17-14. We're brought to you in part by CBD American Shaman. You can get free CBD samples every day at American Shaman. More from Andy Reid here. The play, I just looked at the highlight on TV. The 2 interceptions were thrown right down by the goal line. The second one was the one that Patrick Mahomes threw. The linebacker came underneath Travis Kelce. And Tyreek Hill, as usual, is the fastest guy on the field, ran him down and actually forced a fumble. Now, the Falcons end up keeping the ball, but Andy was asked about the effort that Tyreek Hill put in on that play.
Well, I mean, listen, he made a great effort to get the ball. I mean, we had some linemen that were chasing also, and got to work on our tackling down there a little lower, but we did a nice job getting after it there. But yes, Tyreek's done that before. He did it again, and I told him good job.
He said good job. There's a lot of Chiefs fans said good job, way to go. Tyreek is, the effort is always there with him, and we'll see probably eventually, like the all-22 will come out later in the week. They showed a wide enough shot of it on television where you could see kind of back where he was. And Le'Veon Bell had come over and tried to force a fumble and missed it. And Tyreek had to jump over a couple of guys who were in front of him and then just, took off, punched the ball out. And Demarcus Robinson almost picked off. When we played Demarcus Robinson for you earlier live out at Arrowhead, he mentioned that had he been running down there further, he might have been able to scoop that ball up and keep it in bounds and get the ball back to the Chiefs. But it did not happen that way, and the Chiefs end up not costing them anything after that. They got after, I'm looking through my notes here. Yeah, the fumble, and then the Chiefs got the ball back. They didn't have to punt after that. So they didn't do anything with it, and the Falcons went and scored on the next possession after that. But let's hear more from Big Red on what he thought about the Falcons and how they were going to slow them down offensively.
Yeah, I mean, they did a heck of a job. I'd take responsibility for that. We've got to just kind of get ourselves back into rhythm here. I think we just weren't sharp as we need to be, and I've got to go back and look at the plays. Listen, make sure we're dialing up the right things and then executing them, or at least dialing them up in the right order, and then go from there. And then I've told you before, I'm gonna look at what I did and what we set up for the players, and then we'll look at what the players could do to get better. And one positive was they battled like crazy, and then here's Pat, just ripping a heart out with that last throw. I mean, to D-Rob, I mean, he could have hung his head, and he's going to give me more. I'm like a good pitcher. I'm gonna keep firing, man. So. He did that. He worked through everything that was going on before, any frustration or whatever was going on before. He worked through it, and here he came out on the right end.
You generally get that from Mahomes. They show him a lot on the sideline. Obviously, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's the MVP and Super Bowl MVP and all that. He's the face of the league, and you're the quarterback. So when a bad thing happens, they're going to show him on the sideline. They show him a lot. He always seems to have a good demeanor about him. We talked about this before, the $5 word, demeanor. He does. And he pumps up the rest of the team, and he keeps a great attitude himself, and he keeps firing it. He does. Coach Reed has told him that. You can just keep firing it. And he does that, and he kept firing today. And that really was, if you're a Falcons fan, that was a rip-your-heart-out pass. Because you thought you had the game won when A.J. Terrell had his hands on the ball on the bad pass that Patrick threw, and you didn't catch it, and you just don't. You don't allow Mahomes to have another chance because he's going to get you. And he got you again today. And he got you a little bit with Travis Kelce, who set a record for most receiving yards by a tight end this season. And Big Red has had this kid since he first got to the National Football League. They drafted him in his first draft. And here's Andy Reid's thought on Travis Kelce and his record-setting performance.
Yeah, listen, he's never hung his head or anything. He just kind of keeps going, and he does well in the pass game. He's always been our third down guy there. And now he's had an opportunity again to show what he can do. And he did a nice job. Le'Veon got kind of banged up there for a second, and he stepped in and did a heck of a job, took advantage of the opportunity. So, it was a real plus for him.
That is Andy Reid talking about Darrell Williams there. Sorry about that. I went out of order on the wrong one there. That's my error. I was looking at a previous version of the Google Doc. I need to refresh. Now I've got the whole thing down. It's my first time doing this. Briscoe's at home making fun of me with his sister, calling me bald. So I got them all in order now. So we got Darrell Williams done. Now let's talk about the Chiefs' defense and how the Chiefs, really did a nice job closing this game out. And, where they were probably the difference in the game.
Yeah, listen, I thought it was valuable time for Willie and, a couple of the other linebackers there. I mean, it was it's hard to put a price on that experience that they just got against a good offensive football team. This team here is it's a weird deal because they've been so close, like this game. They've been so close and just haven't been able to finish it off with a W. But they're right there battling. And Raheem has done, I think, a tremendous job for them. I'm hoping that Mr. Blank, keeps him. I mean, he's really done a nice job. And Dirk Cutter, their offensive coordinator, I think is tremendous. Their defensive coordinator had a heck of a game plan together. And now you got Bob Sutton there. You guys know again what I think of Bob, and so they've got, they've really got a good football team, and they're playing. And this is a team that could have just popped the tent right there and said it's over, but they battled. So I think there's something to be said for that.
So Andy Reid wants him to hire Raheem Morris. What about Eric Bieniemy? I thought everyone wants him to get a job. Anyway, I digress. I don't know if Eric Bieniemy wants that job, but he's going to get a chance to interview a lot of places. And Raheem Morris will probably get a legitimate chance to interview there. I don't know how many times it's worked when you fire a coach because things are going poorly, that you hire a guy who was on the staff and it all works out great. Maybe I'm just, when they hired, Romeo Crennel here in Kansas City, it didn't exactly go great. Just last year, wasn't it? Freddie Kitchens really was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns last year, right? That was a real thing. And he was hired on the staff. I don't think that's the thing. So I don't think Raheem Morris is going to be the head coach of the team. But I appreciate that Andy said nice things about him. Thought maybe he should get a real look from Arthur Blank down there. I don't know.
For the curious, Freddie Kitchens is now the tight ends coach on the Giants.
That's right. He's got a job. The Giants have all kinds of weird people on that staff. They got a strange-looking staff, man. Freddie Kitchens is there. Derek Dooley, the former Tennessee head coach and Missouri Tigers like offensive coordinator, has got a job up there doing something. It's weird. You look at that staff, you're like, that guy's doing that? Maybe that's why the Giants aren't very good. I don't know. Let's continue with Big Red here. We talk about close games. The Falcons don't win them. The Chiefs do win them. And, that's one of the important things about getting it done. I mean, you'd rather win them than lose them, and Andy Reid knows his team does a nice job with it.
Yeah, well, listen, I appreciate that. When I say I appreciate the effort, I mean, winning in this league is tough. You see it every week, and you see teams go through these peaks and valleys, and to be able to just consistently push through, everyone's not going to be the prettiest one that you've had. But the bottom line is you got to keep battling. And if you don't battle, you can't do anything, right? So there's no way you're going to survive in this. And so the mental toughness is a part that I respect, and I understand the demands when you won the championship, and that was our first time doing it. That you can say all you want. You can come out and say, hey, you're going to be everybody's big game. But until you experience it and find the demands on continuing to bring the product out and working your game, then words don't explain it. So, but these guys our guys are tough. They're mentally tough. And to put together what they have to this point, my hat goes off to them, man. I appreciate the effort. And I get to see it every day, and they battle through. And that's going to help us down the road.
They really do. I mean, and like we've said, no matter how the game plays out, they're winning these games. They've won some high-scoring, kind of weird ones, like that Panthers game where they were faking punts and going for fourth downs. They've won this low-scoring game where, the Falcons didn't do anything crazy here. They weren't out there going for crazy fourth downs or running too many crazy trick plays and stuff like that. They were just out there playing football. They've done it that way. They've won 30-something to 30-something. They've had big leads and almost lost them. They've had to come from behind. They've had all kinds of different games here, and they've just won them all, and that's a testament to what this team's all about. Now, you heard in the opening segment that Andy Reid wasn't going to answer any questions about what he's going to do on Week 17, but someone tried and asked about the flexibility that having the 1 seed locked up gives them as they head into this last game.
Yeah, well, I've got to sit down and think about all that and where we sit with it, but if we need to rest a person, obviously it gives us that opportunity, but it also, I look at it the other way. It gives us an opportunity to possibly get some guys in that haven't played much to get them some experience, and there's nothing like that. So, and you don't do anything other than try to prepare yourself to win games. So it doesn't matter who's in or not. That's how you go about your business here. So that's the way we'll go about this week. Whoever's playing, that's how we're going about it.
All right, and finally, hear from Big Red. We're going to finally hear from about Travis Kelce, because I threw to that earlier, and we heard from Darrell Williams. That was my fault. I made the error. I threw the interception, but Beards went down, knocked the football out, went out of bounds. We made him punt. We got it back. We're going to finish this segment right with Andy Reid talking about what Travis Kelce does well to make him be able to be a tight end that can set the records he does.
Yeah, listen, I'm so proud of him in so many ways. I mean, on and off the field, and he's just a heck of a football player, great person too. And keeps it alive. I mean, for the young guys to see this guy that is getting up there in age, but gets excited for every opportunity he has, I think is a special deal. So, he's done a nice job and made a nice career of this thing. And like I said, on and off the field, and kind of grown up right before us.
He really has grown up right before the Chiefs fans and coaches' eyes. And Andy Reid talked a little bit more about Travis Kelce, how he comes through with these big clutch plays, because he had a big one to get them down in the position as well.
Well, he's banged up. Our guys put in these 99 snaps this past week, and and so now you come back and you're a week probably isn't enough for once you do 99 snaps, maybe possibly. So, but listen, he sucked it up as the other guys did and battled through it, and whatever nicks they had, they pushed through it and did a nice job. And when it came to clutch time, I always told you that with he and Patrick, they've got a special thing going, and Patrick banked on him down the stretch, and he came through.
That's what he does. He comes through. Mahomes comes through. Kelce comes through. It's kind of how it's gone. You don't get to 14-1 without people coming through. The Chiefs win 17-14 today over the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons still just have 4 wins. They seem to lose these games. The Chiefs seem to win these games. We do not know what the Chiefs will do next week as far as playing time goes. As Andy Reid said there, he's going to take a look at it, and some time off will be good for some of these guys. So I'm sure you won't see a full effort all the way down. I can tell you that much right now. That doesn't mean he's not going to play players, but you're not going to see at the end of the game everyone in there, because they need to make sure they get these guys right for the playoffs. They have that bye and that number 1 seed in place. As we said, Pittsburgh did come back and win their game, so the Chiefs needed to get that win today. Buffalo plays tomorrow night against the New England Patriots. You can hear that right here on Sports Radio 810. The other shocking result from this morning was the Cleveland Browns lost to the Jets. The Jets have now won 2 games in a row. The Browns had to play without all of their starting wide receivers because they're on COVID close contact lists, and they were down 20-3. The Browns came back and they had the ball in their hands. 4th down play, and Baker Mayfield went for a sneak and fumbled it. It was recovered by the Browns, but you can't advance the fumble, so the game was over, and Baker Mayfield was not very happy after the game today. They've got a huge game with the Steelers if they want to make the playoffs next week. They host them next week. So, you know what? They haven't flexed a game on Sunday night, but I'll bet they flex that game. That seems to be like the game they would flex, because it's like a whatever happens, like the Browns will be.
What's the current game?
There's not one out there. They have it set to where there's not a game, and then they wait to see which game is the one to put there. What game? I'll tell you this: it's not going to be the Chiefs and Chargers, okay? But they want one that's got a playoff implication that doesn't have playoff implications that go too much further down, because they try to pod them up now to where the playoff implications all are kind of playing at the same time. And the Steelers are in the playoffs, and the Browns will need to win, I think, to get in. So that I could see that being one that they would put out there. We'll see. But we've got Sunday night for you tonight. The Packers are playing the Titans, and Packers have only beaten, I think, one team with a winning record this year. And this is a big chance for them to kind of show they're playing somebody good in the Titans. So I'm sure a lot of people will be listening to that one on Sports Radio 810. We'll take a quick break here on the Chiefs postgame show, brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Live wide open. Play $5 Ride to Riches Scratchers game for the Missouri Lottery and win up to $100,000 instantly. Play it forward and play it responsibly. We'll hear from Patrick Mahomes next on Sports Radio 810.
Chiefs postgame, brought to you by Casey's Own CBD American Shaman. Come on into your local shaman store for a free sample of stress-sacking CBD. Everything is better with the feather.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One with a Sunday Night Football preview. Week 16 has a great primetime matchup with the Tennessee Titans traveling to Green Bay to face Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. While Green Bay at 11-3 has clinched their division, the 10-4 Titans are in a battle with the Colts for theirs. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill says league-leading rusher Derrick Henry is not their only offensive weapon.
Yeah, I think that's what makes us dangerous is Derrick does his thing. He's going to gain his yards. We're able to play off that in the pass game. Or if we're not going to do play actions, we can drop back and gain yards that way. I think we've shown that throughout the year. So we can't really key in on one area of the game or one player. We kind of have to defend the whole field.
Brandon Gaudin and Ben Lieber will have the call from Lambeau Field when the Packers host the Titans on Sunday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long.
right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Get professional tools this holiday season from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. We have hand tools and gift sets starting at just $7.99. Choose from hex bits, pliers, wrenches, socket sets, and more, all with a lifetime guarantee. Or make your holiday giving even easier with gift cards from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly.
Ready for an oil change? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts have everything you need and will recommend the best options for your car, like 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $27.99. Plus, earn double O Rewards points and get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're probably driving right now, so actually using your internet will be hard. But we at Google Fiber would love you to spend a moment just thinking about your internet. How's it going? Did you ask yourself, why are my bills not surprising? Or why is it just so fast? If yes, great news. If you're left with more questions about your internet, check out google.com/fiber. Google Fiber. Refreshing internet.
Since 1929, Shane Company's been part of over 1 million perfect proposals. An engagement ring is a symbol of your natural love, a love that's pure, unique, and rare. Choose a center stone that will reflect that. At Shane Company, all of our diamonds, rubies, and sapphires are natural, rare stones, sourced directly from suppliers worldwide who share our dedication to the highest ethical standards. Because we have the largest selection of natural stones in every price range, and each stone has its own unique characteristics, it'll be easy to find a center stone that's perfect for the two of you. Visit our store or go online to create a one-of-a-kind ring that's as genuine as your love story. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Do you use your SUV for business and you'd like to upgrade? Now's the time at Aristocrat Motors. Act before December 31st and you could enjoy accelerated depreciation for 2020 on your new 6,000-pound SUV. Choose from our iconic brands Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Porsche, or Maserati. See your tax accountant about Section 179 and then see Aristocrat Motors. I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway or online at aristocratmotors.com. And you'll find taxes have never been so much fun.
Every weekday on Sports Radio 810, tune in to hear Kansas City's favorite local lineup. At 6 a.m., wake up with the Border Patrol with Stephen St. John and Nate Bucati. At 10, it's The Zone with Jason Anderson. Now at 2, get into the program with Soren Petro. And wrap up your day on Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Briscoe. Kansas City's hometown sports station. Sports Radio 810 WHB. WHB Kansas City. It's time for the Chiefs Drive of the Game.
Brought to you by One Request, a Kansas City company making car shopping easy. Stop searching site to site and avoid the numerous calls and emails from sellers. Search less, find yours at onerequest.com.
And Bucker is good. And so the Chiefs have their first lead of the day.
53-yard field goal at the end of a drive by Harrison Butker did give the Chiefs that lead. They lost the lead, but they got it back and then won the game. Why did they win the game without going to overtime? Well, they won the game without going to overtime because at 17-14, after the Chiefs threw a touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson, the Falcons got the ball back and drove down the field and were in position to kick a field goal, but Younghoe Koo missed the kick. He met with the media after the game.
All right, I appreciate you doing this. No, it's a tough one. Can you take us through that kick?
Yeah, I just pushed it. I know I gotta come through when my name's called at that time. I just didn't come through, but I'll learn from it and move on.
When something like that happens, is it a mechanical thing? Is it something you knew right when it was coming off your foot?
I haven't really done that all season. It was a different surface that I played on today. Just kind of had a hard time figuring that out. But whether different surface or not, I just got to make that kick.
Do nerves play a role at all? And with what's on the line with seconds left, I know you've hit lots and lots of big kicks, but do nerves play a role at all?
No, I mean, you can't think about that stuff, right? I mean, it's the same stroke every time. So like I said, I just had a hard time figuring that out, but got to come through.
What's the mood in the locker room like after this one? I mean, look, you go toe to toe with the defending champs and the now number 1 seed, but it ends the way it does. What's the mood?
I think we had a lot of close games this season. We would like to close that out as well. We just learn from it and move on week by week.
Does it get disheartening at all the way you guys have dealt with some losses this year? The weird ways that you guys have ended, just the heartbreaking finishes.
No, I mean, I would think that we're just that close. It's whether a play or two, we're right there every time. So I think we just have to learn to finish and just get better from that.
Last question.
Yeah, Coach Morris said in his press conference, he just went up and gave you a hug afterward. What was the kind of story from your side of things after the kick, and did anybody else come up with words of encouragement afterward?
Yeah, I mean, at that moment, I just have to come through, and my name's called at that time. It is what it is. I learned from it, and I'll definitely work harder from that. And then next time I'll make that.
Next time I'll make it. Next time won't be in Kansas City. Young Hui Koo had not missed a field goal this year, had missed 2 extra points, but had not missed a field goal this year. And he is a Pro Bowler. He's had a really, really nice year. And you heard him talk about the surface there. Generally, these guys, I mean, he plays his games inside, right? And the Chiefs play outdoors. It looked like they had some new sod in the middle of the field, like it had been freshly done, probably in the last couple of weeks or so, to get ready for playoff games with a different style of grass. It was a different deal for him. He missed the kick, and I did not think he was going to push it. I thought he was going to hook it. And it started on the one goal post and went all the way over the other one. Really weird-looking kick. And when you see the close-up replay of it, I mean, you see the shadow go right next to the goalpost, the upright. It was about as close as you can be without doinking it, right? But too bad for him. Good news for the Chiefs. They win again. That's what they do. Now it's time to hear from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
This is Larry Ryan, and what we do with lawns in the coming weeks will have a lot to do with how great they'll look next spring. Get your 2021 lawn off to a great start today at ryanlawn.com.
All right, let's listen into what Patrick Mahomes had to say. Now, obviously, they've had a lot of these close games in a row, and it's making some Chiefs fans mad. It's given them a lot of nervousness as they go down the stretch. But Mahomes was asked what's in the forefront of his mind whenever they win these close games. Is it about what went wrong leading up to it, or what went right to close it out?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I got to focus on fixing the things that I made mistakes on during the game. There was a lot of reads, a lot of protection calls, a lot of adjustments at the line of scrimmage that I made wrong, or that I didn't make the right way, that put us in bad positions. And so I gotta focus on getting myself better to help out the team. But I mean, then again, at the end of the day, I mean, the defense played their tail off to keep us in that game and to give us a chance. And the offense found a way to score a touchdown when we needed to. So, I mean, that's just that championship swagger, as Tyron would say, of knowing how to win a game even when you're not playing well.
Patrick was asked to kind of follow up about those misreads. I think a lot of times we all just sit there and watch the game. Just throw the ball over there. The guy's wide open. There's a lot of things that are supposed to happen. A receiver's supposed to break one way or the other way, depending on how he's being played. The quarterback has to see it at the same time. And they just really weren't on the same page today. And he was asked to kind of go a little deeper on that.
No, I mean, they have a great defense. I mean, they have a lot of great players over there. They have a ton of talent. They've been in close games every single game this year, pretty much. And so definitely they did some stuff that was some good stuff. And then there was stuff that I didn't see that I usually do. And so there was some times I was hot in the game because I didn't slide the line the right way. There were some times I checked the certain plays and they weren't open. And so, I mean, you got to be better if you want to win football games in this league. And luckily enough, our defense made the stops necessary to give us a chance at the end, and we found a way to score a touchdown.
They did find a way to get that done, and really that's what you want to do. You want to find a way to score more points than the other team. They didn't need 30 points today. They only needed 15. They got 17. And what they really don't need to do is win this game, right? I mean, it's nice. They won the game 17-14. They've got the number 1 seed wrapped up, but they were going to get the number 1 seed wrapped up either way by winning next week or someone else losing a game. Once the Steelers lost the game on Monday, it was nearly impossible for them not to be the number 1 seed, but it's handled now. But what they need to do is make sure everything is right for the postseason. That's the next step, to make sure they're humming when it comes time to go play in the postseason. And he was asked today if he thinks something like what happened today is a step backwards in that goal, or is it just something you can just, say, hey, listen, we had a bad day?
I think it was just a bad day for the offense, starting with me, not getting going early and then not executing in the second half. But I mean, I thought the defense played their tail off against a really good offense, and to have that type of defense going into the playoffs, kind of like we did last year, that they're getting better every single week. I feel like the offense will figure it out, and having a full team like that will get us to where we want to be at.
We're listening to Patrick Mahomes' press conference after the game, brought to you by the Kansas City Acura dealers. Take a test drive at your Kansas City Acura dealer, and they'll make a donation to Patrick Mahomes' charity, 15 in the Mahomies. Schedule your test drive today. All right, so finally, made a really nice-looking pass to Demarcus Robinson for the touchdown at the end that gave them the lead 17-14. Patrick was asked to kind of walk through that play.
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, D-Rob ran a heck of a route. Tyreek took the safety out from the middle of the field, and D-Rob was one-on-one on the island and ran a little triple move and was able to get himself open. The offensive line gave me time, and then I just fired it and let him make a play on it. And, I mean, when you execute like that, and I go through the reads the right way, we're a hard offense to stop. And so I got to make sure that we get back to that. And then I'm excited for the next few weeks ahead and being able to go out there and execute at a higher level.
So the play right before that was the one where A.J. Terrell should have intercepted the pass, right? He had the ball, and his back hit the ground. He kind of bobbled it, and eventually it fell to the ground. And Falcons coach Raheem Morris decided to challenge it. I don't understand why. I guess you thought, I got nothing better to do. I might as well challenge this thing. It was outside the 2-minute warning. It was the play right before the 2-minute warning, I guess. So had it been inside, I don't think there's any way in the world they would buzz from up above to say, let's challenge this play. I'll just say that right now. So that makes this, by rule, a bad challenge. But Patrick was asked if the fact that they challenged it gave them a little extra time to come up with that big play.
Yeah, well, first, I mean, it was just building up all game. We weren't in that right situation to call that play. We had it up there, and Coach Reed saved it for the right moment. And Coach EB brought it in, and they called the right play at the right time and got the guy wide open. And so, I mean, just executing at a high level in the right moments can win you football games in this league, and we were able to do that. And then, can you ask your second one more time?
I will ask the second one more time. I'm guessing it's about securing the number 1 seed. Rudy's going to take the fumble on that one, he says. I'm going to say this right now. I love Patrick Mahomes, and they always say he's got a photographic memory. More than anyone, if you ask him 2 questions, he will say, can you ask the second one more time? So I think it's photographic memory about a lot of things, the important stuff, like, what coverage the Titans ran on him in a play in Nashville, and then later in the playoffs he did the right thing or something like that. But I'm remembering 2 questions 30 seconds after they were asked. It's not photographic. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not some hater or something. I'm just telling you it's not photographic. So the second question was asked about getting that number 1 seed and having the one and only bye in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get it. It's one of your goals when you go into the season. If you look at the history of that bye week, usually it's a good thing for the teams going and trying to make a championship run. But at the end of the day, we got to find a way to win a football game whenever we get there. And so for us, we have to get better. Offensively, I have to get better to put us in the right position so that we can go out there and execute at a higher level when we get to the playoffs when we need to go out there and score.
You are listening to Chiefs Postgame Show, brought to you in part by CBD American Shaman. 17% discount tomorrow at CBD American Shaman. American Shaman, the life is better with the feather. 17 is not exactly what you want, but it's better than nothing. So go buy CBD American Shaman at one of their locations across town and get 17% off tomorrow because the Chiefs scored 17 points. Let's hear more from Patrick Mahomes now on kind of whether or not he feels like maybe that he should get rested or if he'd like to go out there and play next week.
I just trust in the coaches. I'm ready to go whenever that is. I'm going to be ready to go. I'm going to be trying to win a football game. But, I mean, Coach Reed's done this for a long time. And Coach EB's done this for a long time. All those guys have done it for a long time. And they know what's best for the team, and we'll be ready to go whenever that is.
So we'll see what happens. Like I said, Andy Reid's not going to probably tell us his plan tomorrow either. But we'll know. I don't think all of the starters will play for very long. That's my guess on what's going to happen. Whether or not Mahomes plays at all, we'll see. Because Andy does have a history here in Kansas City of if they know exactly what they're going to be, of not playing a starting quarterback. We've seen that. That's been a history. Now, last time they did it so they could see if Patrick Mahomes could play. I don't think there's any need to say, hey, what's this Chad Henne got? They don't need to, check the franchise quarterback of the future and see if he can play. So that's a little bit different. But the fact that they had their seed set and ready to go gave them the opportunity to do that. There are probably some other players they'd like to look at in some positions, although they got to look at basically every linebacker this week, because Anthony Hitchens was on the COVID list and Ben Neiman got hurt during the game. It got down, the big talk last week was the green sticker. If you've watched enough football, just a few players have a green sticker on their helmet. The green sticker means you have a speaker in your helmet that the coaches can talk to you. So the quarterback has one, and the middle linebacker generally is the guy who has one. Well, Anthony Hitchens is a green sticker guy. Well, they put the green sticker on Ben Neiman, and he got hurt. So then they had to get the microphone in Darius Harris's hat. So, they had to go through a lot of stuff. So they'll find their way to figure out exactly who they want to play next week when they face the Chargers. But the good news for the Chiefs is they don't have to play. They don't have to play people, and they don't have to win because they've got that bye week ready to go for them. All right, so the big play after Mahomes threw the bad interception where Tyreek Hill ran the guy down and makes him fumble the ball, Patrick was asked what he kind of thought about the effort that Tyreek Hill put out there.
Yeah, that's the heart and the championship swagger. I'll say it again 2 times in one interview, but that you need on a team. The fact that him battling through injury already, to be out there during that game and then to make that play, I whiffed on a tackle during that drive, during that little pick. For him to follow the ball and play, you have to have those type of guys on your team if you want to win football games.
Big play. Now, they ended up keeping the ball. But it's cool to watch Tyreek Hill run people down. I don't think there's anyone in the league he can't run down. He certainly could run that dude down. You're talking about a linebacker with about a 20-yard head start, and Tyreek had to jump over people, and he caught him pretty easily because he's got that kind of speed. All right, so the others, I thought, we all like these plays when they work. We'll see if they name this play this time, because the fun thing is always ask on the Zooms after the game, what's the name of the play where you score the touchdown? Slot machine this, Ferrari that. I don't know what the name was to the Sammy Watkins pass to him. I don't know if they asked him on here, but he was asked about the 4th down pass from Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, obviously we didn't end up in the situation that we wanted. They had brought a lot of man-type pressure in that situation, so we were going to try to sneak me out the backside and be wide open for a walk-in touchdown. But obviously they had a guy out there. They had to have the biggest, fastest guy possibly with number 22, Neal. I knew I wasn't in a good situation at that point. So I told Sammy before the play, it's 4th down. You got to throw it even if I'm covered. He had the leverage on me, and I'm probably going to be on You Got Moss this weekend on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's probably going to be on there because he got sort of mossed. Bad play, but at that point the game was 0-0, and the Chiefs kind of do these things early in these games. That was the first drive, right, against Tampa, where they tried the one down there where Kelsey should have run it in but didn't, and ended up settling for a field goal. It seems like they kind of do some of these things a little bit early in the games. But I would have preferred the Chiefs be up when they try stuff like that because I didn't think it was a great play call. And he wasn't going to be open just running down the sideline. I think they had that thing sniffed out pretty good. All right, last one here from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes after the Chiefs' 17-14 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Travis Kelce was a big part of it. He made a touchdown catch, and he broke the single-season record for tight end yards, and he also recorded his 100th catch for the second time. First time ever a tight end has done that. And Patrick was asking about the qualities that Kelce has that make him so reliable, especially in these pressure situations when they need to go down there and score at the end.
Yeah, I think it's a quality that we have on a lot of guys on this team, and it's that no matter how talented and how much success the guys have on this team, they just want to win, and they want to win for the guys next to them. And if you see a guy like Travis, he's a guy that he's done it for a long time. He's been at the top of the game He's been able to do TV shows and do all these different things. He's a well-known guy, but he works his tail off every single day, and he's practicing every single day, and he's making sure he's prepared for these moments. And for a guy to have that much talent, work that hard, and be able to really learn every single day like that's what makes him so special on the field.
And just related to that, how often does he do something that he hasn't done before in moving where he moves? It's sort of an unrehearsed thing that you guys come through on. I mean, would that happen a few times today?
Yeah, I mean, he just has a good recognition of recognizing coverages and then being able to get himself open. And you saw that on the play at the very end, that 2-minute drive. He was actually supposed to run a kind of a go type route and then sit it down a little bit deeper. And he saw the open space, so he sat it down even earlier for me to get the ball out of my hand. And so he just recognizing coverages like that is what gets him open in those pressure type situations where you're getting exotic coverages that you maybe not scouted for.
This is Larry Ryan, and what we do with lawns in the coming weeks will have a lot to do with how great they'll look next spring. Get your 2021 lawn off to a great start today at ryanlawn.com.
That's Patrick Mahomes talking about the Chiefs' big 17-14 win, nail-biter, making people nervous. I don't know. I don't get really nervous they're going to lose these games. I guess because they keep winning them. I don't get that nervous that they're actually going to lose. Because when they got the ball back, I was like, well, of course they're going to go down and score a touchdown. There wasn't really a thought in my mind that they wouldn't, until he threw the horrible pass that A.J. Terrell should have picked off. But the second he dropped the pass, forget about it. He's definitely going to throw a touchdown pass, and they're going to score. He scored a little too quick, honestly, but Younghoe Koo missed the kick. So it all goes well for the Chiefs. 17-14 winners, and they are the number 1 seed now. They will play the Chargers this next week at home, but we will see how they approach the game on whether or not they're going to really go after it or not. The Chargers right now are playing the Broncos in a scintillating 16-3 game. We had some really entertaining, high-scoring, fun games on Friday and Saturday. And today, it's not much. I'm sitting here watching the Rams and Seahawks play, and it's 6-6 in the third quarter. 6-6. That's not very good. And for some reason, we have the Carolina-Washington game on here. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why is that on in Kansas City? There's not much else out there, I guess. Because I'd rather, I guess, I don't know, maybe the Cowboys game's a better game to watch. But yeah, who chose the Carolina-Washington game to be the game that's on Channel 5 here in town? Dwayne Haskins, by the way, is horrible today. Imagine that. Someone has to win that division, though. We'll see. Someone has to win it. Let's hit the phones and talk to Tommy Moe. 913-381-0810's the number. What did you think of this one, Tommy? Had him all the way, right?
Yeah, you know, we're kind of conditioned as Chiefs fans since we've had Patrick Mahomes as our quarterback that we expect these games to be won. Prior to 2017, we expected to lose. It's pretty much how we have been conditioned as Chiefs fans. And as when Mr. Koo missed his field goal today, all I could think about was Lynn Elliott and said, all right, 1 down, 2 more to go, because he missed 3 kicks, albeit in a bigger and more important game and a playoff game. But this game had some significance to it, number 1, Steve. But when he missed it, all I could think about was Lynn Elliott, you know, shanking 3 kicks about that same distance back in, 25 years ago?
Yeah, and it's I think there is something about knowing some stadiums, not all of them, right? Because a lot of them you're just in the dome. It is what it is. This stadium experience means something when you're kicking here, and this is his first time kicking here. He didn't know anything about this place, and he didn't look very good on his first extra point, and he didn't look good at all on that last kick. So I think there's certainly a little home field advantage for the guys who have been here a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to be real interested. There's going to be a lot of talk for sports talk fodder for the next 2 weeks when it comes to rest versus rust. And this offensive line, Todd, I don't know who should be I'd like to have Andy Heck on Monday before they go out to practice or before they have meetings. They don't have practice till Wednesday, and say, who are your best 5 guys? And for whatever reason, Wisniewski, he can't make the Steelers, team, but it just works for the Chiefs, whether it's left guard, right guard. And Wiley, what he did last week against Cam Jordan, I don't know what his PFF grade was. I don't know what his Chiefs grade was. but he handled Cameron Jordan, one of the best D-lines around. And I just don't know what's our best 5 out there. And, Kilgore came in. Did he stay in for the final drive? I know he kind of came in towards the next to last or last drive. And
I got to go looking back and see if Ryder went back in. But it was that last drive where Kilgore came in a couple of big plays, but then they didn't mention if he had come back out, and I was too busy watching the passes. So I got to go back and do a little rewatch to see if he stayed in. But they had to go through that stuff, right? I mean, the best thing they could have is Mitchell Schwartz be healthy. That would really, really, really help this line, but we don't know if that's going to happen yet. I know this. He doesn't have to play next week, and he doesn't have to play the next week after that. So he's got a couple weeks to get ready and not put anything on his back. So if they get Mitchell Schwartz back, that would be a huge uplifting thing for this line because he is an exceptional player, and he had been so steady for so long, and he finally actually got hurt, and he's had to miss some time. So if they could find a way to get him back. But Andy didn't sound very confident this week when they asked him about it, but he's not going to tell you exactly how he's going to feel later. But if they could get him back by their game is going to be January 16th or 17th, right? They don't know which day, if it's going to be a Saturday game or a Sunday game. That's when their game's going to be. And if he can get himself healthy by then, that would be a great thing.
Yep. And finally, it was great to see Willie Gay play more than 12, 14, 18 snaps. I know he didn't play a perfect game, but, when he makes a mistake, he brings it. And for him to, I guess he led the team with 7 tackles, a couple assists, and he just fills the hole. And that hit that he had on that fumble, I mean, they kind of had him twisted around, and Willie Gay found the perfect sweet spot to hit that guy right where the ball was, or right. I think it was Willie Gay. Snead kind of had him wrapped up.
Yeah, I think Snead was there, and Gay is the one who probably got the ball out. And Willie had a couple plays that weren't great early because they had some nice runs up the middle. But you're right, that guy, their running back should have just gone for the first down and gone towards the sideline. The second he turned back inside, he brought the Chiefs defenders back with him, and Snead has been great all year. He's done a really nice job, and when Gay brings it, he brings it, and he got a piece of him and knocked that ball out, and that, it took points off the board. The Chiefs didn't go down and score, but it took points off the board for the Falcons, which was a big play at the time.
Yep, and for Snead, when he blitzes, I guess we haven't seen a lot of his speed, on pass coverage, maybe 1 or 2 plays that you can remember, but his speed to get from the D-line being maybe shaded or blocked to get to the quarterback the last 2 weeks, that's where we see his speed. He's a 4.3-ish guy. And just today it looked like, Ryan's going to get that pass off. And 3 steps later, there's Snead right on him with the sack, and back-to-back weeks with a with a sack with a guy that has speed and just kind of showed it in a quick little burst. And like I said, Ladarius Snead doesn't, wow you by what he looks like. And he kind of looks lanky, and he doesn't look like a great DB, like 6'1", 190, powerfully built. He just kind of has that lanky look to it, but he gets the job done, and I'd rather have a bunch of those guys than a bunch of posers.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for the call, Tommy Moe. Appreciate it. Chiefs got the win 17-14. They are going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Your Facebook Live coverage today is brought to you by 5 Farms Irish Cream. 'Tis the season to enjoy the world's best Irish cream in your coffee, your hot cocoa, or your favorite holiday cocktail. Check it out at 5farmsirishcream.com.
LMC Truck, located right here in Kansas City, offers quality parts and accessories for Chevy, GMC, Ford, and Dodge trucks, SUVs, and vans. Just go to lmctruck.com. LMC Truck, keeping generations on the road.
It's football season in Kansas City, and that means it's ring season. So as KC hunts for another championship, there's no need to hunt for the best tasting light beer in town. You can run it back this season with the great taste of Miller Lite and enjoy greatness on the football field and in your beer. The official great taste of football in Kansas City, Miller Lite.
Please enjoy Miller Lite responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Ho, 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 they gotta go. Robert Brogdon Buick GMC is offering employee pricing on new vehicles during their biggest sale of the year. Right now, you'll pay what they pay for a brand new Buick or GMC. Plus, additional discounts and rebates are available. You'll save up to 40% below MSRP on new models like the 2021 Buick Encore GX or GMC Sierra. Visit robertbrogdon.com or see him in person at I-35 in Santa Fe and Olathe. On select models includes all available incentives and rebates, plus tax tag, title, and fees. Trade required. Must qualify and finance through GMF or Ally. See dealer for details.
The Chiefs are ready to run it back.
What a play by Mahomes!
And Sports Radio 810 WHB is your home for the NFL playoffs.
Wilson throws for the end zone. Metcalf has it. Touchdown, Seattle.
We'll bring you live coverage of all the action from the wild card round to the Super Bowl.
Touchdown! That's it! That's it!
Your home for the NFL playoffs. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Call Bob Hamilton, Plumbing, Heating, AC, Rooter, and Electrical. Did you know your heating system can lose 5% efficiency every year? Call us today and get a $49 system check, and we'll give you a Google Home Hub absolutely free. What? That's a $139 value while they last. How's that for peace of mind? Better call Bob.
Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Call 888-4BOB. Remember 913.
When times are tough, you turn to the people you trust. For more than 100 years, Central Bank has weathered many a storm, and through it all, shown what it means to be a true community bank. Our people are working right now to keep your money moving, to keep your businesses strong, to keep our communities strong. Central Bank has been named a Forbes magazine Top 100 Bank for 12 years in a row. When we say strong roots, we mean it. Central Bank. Strong roots. Endless possibilities. Member FDIC.
If you don't have a MyPillow or know someone who doesn't, now is the time, because for a limited time, Mike is offering his My Premium pillows, yes, the one that started it all, for his lowest price ever. You can get a queen-size premium MyPillow, regularly $69.98, for only $29.98. That's a $40 savings, and kings are only $5 more. Folks, now's the time to buy. Not only are you getting the lowest price ever, but they're the best Christmas gifts. $29.98 for a queen-size premium MyPillow? Buy now, and Mike will extend his 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2021. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the Radio Listener Square. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, and MyPillow towel sets. Call 800-544-8939 or visit MyPillow.com and use the promo code NORM22.
Family Leisure's After Christmas clearance sale is here. Family Leisure has the best prices of the year on closeout, scratch and dent, and overstock products, and bonus deals for you if you mention 810. Pool tables, foosball, air hockey, bars and bar stools reduced by up to 70%. Hot tubs, tanning beds, and home theater seating at their best prices. Family Leisure has the best products, best selection, and best prices guaranteed. Take advantage of the special 810 deals while they last. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome!
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
Darlene is a 71-year-old Kansan.
Hello, I'm Darlene.
Darlene wants every Kansan to pull together to stop this pandemic so she can get back to her normal life.
I miss the rock concerts, MMA fights, NASCAR, and monster truck rallies.
Darlene is the life of the party. Let's get her back to it.
Get a COVID test so me and my girls can kick it.
You've been old-schooled. Get a free COVID test. It's free for everyone. It's up to us, Kansas.
The old new Rockney. Look at this. Back to you, and looking to throw it is Watkins to Mahomes, and it is picked off. Keanu Neal is there for the interception.
The Ugly Play of the Game, presented by We Buy Ugly Houses. If you're in an ugly house and it's an ugly situation, call the Ugly House guys today. 1-800-44-BUYER or go to WeBuyUglyHouses.com. Fix that ugly situation and turn it into cash.
Welcome back into the Chiefs postgame show. 17-14 winners, Chiefs today over the Atlanta Falcons. And that was an ugly play, but we had a debate about if the last kick by Young Hui Koo, which was ugly, could have been the ugly play of the game. But that was ugly. The Chiefs tried to get a little bit too cute. And the cutest guy in the Kansas City media joins us now. That's Matt Derrick. from Chiefs Digest. Hello, Matt. What'd you think of that one?
That was interesting. Certainly wasn't the outcome that I expected, but survive in advance. That's all you get. All you can hope for sometimes, right?
Yeah, it really is. You just get kind of used to this, that the Chiefs play these kind of games. This was a little bit different than some of them. They had the big lead at Carolina, and they had a big lead at Miami after being down. They had some leads, and they kind of lost them. They had to kind of fight and scrap against the Raiders. But this was it was just nothing after the first. There's only been one other quarter all year in which neither team scored a point in a Chiefs game, and that was the Raiders game that they lost. So I didn't like that right out of the chute, but they had to go all the way to the end, but they found a way. First off, let's ask it this way. When the Falcons took the lead, what was your percentage chance that the Chiefs were going to score a touchdown when the 4 or 5 minutes they had left?
I was thinking about that, and part of me certainly thought, okay, the way the Chiefs have played today, they haven't put together really for a full drive yet, so this isn't good. But then I'm like, it's Showtime's Mahomes magic, so I thought it was at least 60% that they were going to score. It just seems inevitable. Until you get to a point where Mahomes goes out there and he doesn't get it done at some point during the game and closes in crunch time, I'm always going to assume he gets it done.
Yeah, and I felt like it was I was probably more like 80 or 90% they were going to get it done until the ball was in the air heading towards A.J. Terrell. And then I'm like, wow. Then even while the ball was in the air, I started doing the math in my head. All right, timeouts, what do you got to do? You know what I mean? And he didn't catch the ball. And you just do not give Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense another chance.
Yeah, and that split second, I'm with you. I thought it went down to 0. But as soon as the ball bounced out, it went up to about 90% because I thought once they got that break, it was over. There was just no way that they weren't going to win that game.
Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest joins us now. And, listen, fans are fans. They're angry, upset that they don't score 35 points every game. They get upset when they don't, roll people. But you got to be happy when they win. We just watched a team come in here in the Atlanta Falcons who have lost 8 one-possession games this year. Lost them. They had a big lead on Dallas early. I think a lot of people saw that game. I think it was on local TV here. And the Chiefs were not playing at the time with the weird onside kick. They, lost the Chargers. They've lost all these games just like this. And the Chiefs have won all these games just like this. So I think sometimes Chiefs fans just need to look and say, look at the other team. What didn't they do to make something happen? And what they didn't do was, they didn't take advantage of all the chances the Chiefs gave them, and their kicker, who hadn't missed a field goal all year, missed one. So you'd rather be the Chiefs than the Falcons.
Oh, you'd rather be, and you'd rather be the Chiefs than the Browns. You'd rather be the Chiefs than the Raiders. There's other teams around the league, you see that, get into these kinds of games and don't pull them out. And including teams that you think you look at. The Browns today is a classic example. This is a team that people are saying, hey, they end up meeting the Chiefs in the playoffs. It could be causing a problem. Like, really? They lost the Jets. And the Chiefs, they're 14-1. They're going to be 15-1 to finish the season. That's nothing to complain about. I get it because I grade the Chiefs on a bit of a scale too because I look at this offense and you can find things to criticize every single week because they don't go up and down the field and score on every single drive because that's what you expect. But it is a curve that we grade this team on, and it's a ridiculous curve because you take this offense and you put it with any other probably team in the league, this quarterback, put him with every team in the league, and they would take that in a heartbeat, and there would be zero complaints week in and week out.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that concerns me about the stretch run in the playoffs is they need to get something figured out on the offensive line, and that's not that they need to figure out who should be playing. It's they need to figure out who can play because they're still dealing with some injury things. Andy was a little, ambiguous about Mitchell Schwartz. He's on the IR right now. He's eligible to come off and play in the postseason. How much of a difference would 80% of Mitchell Schwartz make on this offensive line?
Yeah, I think it would make a difference, even if it was just mental, because I think that the security of having Schwartz out there, I think makes a difference with everybody else. I think just having the presence of a guy like that on the field and knowing that he is there protecting that side, I think it probably raises the game of everybody a little bit. So I think it would definitely be, a big boost to have him back. The other thing I think when I think about this team and getting ready for the postseason is that I feel like that they are getting everybody's best shot, and they certainly got the Falcons' best shot. And I'm not sure when was the last time that a team got the Chiefs' best shot. Certainly wasn't today, and I mean it's been a few weeks.
First half against the Bucs, maybe.
Yeah, I think you could say that first half against the Saints. I mean, as far as a complete 4 quarters,
Ravens.
I probably have to go back to Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah.
I mean, it's just, but that's going to change in January. I mean, this team has got a level, and we've seen it, that, they're going to get to a point where week in and week out, they're going to be giving their best game to the two other teams, and that's when I think you're probably going to see a difference.
We're speaking with Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest about the Chiefs and their 17-14 win over the Falcons. They've wrapped up the number 1 seed. Matt's appearance is brought to you by Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, Rooter, and Electrical. KC scored 17 points today, so you can get 17% off Bob Hamilton's service partner membership that includes 4 checkups a year on plumbing, electrical, HVAC, priority service, and 15% off service work. Better call Bob. All right, so how happy are you, Matt, that the Chiefs won this game and you didn't have to start figuring out what strength of victory was? And all these things have been running around on and getting this number 1 seed wrapped up.
Yeah, I had no interest in trying to figure out strength of victory and how they were going to clinch it, because it was pretty clear from the last few days that nobody's figured it out.
No, because it's an ambiguous number that moves around. I mean, because whatever happens next week is part of it. And
you can. I mean, it is something you can figure out. You just need to be able to crunch all the numbers and be able to consider all the permutations of outcomes over the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, I mean, it was certainly possible that they could clinch it. I mean, and Buffalo's coming up later. I mean, Buffalo could lose, and they could clinch it that way too. So, but I know that the Chiefs were dead set on they wanted to clinch it themselves right now. They didn't want to put anybody else's hands, and they certainly didn't want to go into Week 17 not knowing if they had it done yet.
All right, let's stay on the offensive side of the ball with the Chiefs a little bit. And before we get to Travis Kelce and his record-setting day, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out, and he's not going to play next week for sure. We don't really know. Do you think he's someone who could be back? And what was your level? I was slightly disappointed in what I saw from Le'Veon Bell. I thought this was a big opportunity for him, and he didn't look like he had much burst today.
Yeah, I mean, really the best runs that they had most of the day were from Darrell Williams. And Bell had a couple of moments, but I think you're right. I mean, it's just we haven't seen Le'Veon Bell go out there in the couple of chances that he's had when Edwards-Helaire has been out and just grab that position by the horns and say that he's the guy. And some of the Chiefs have diminished the running back position quite a bit. I mean, they're not the team that's going to go out there and ever give a team a guy like 20 or 25 carries again. I mean, it's just not who they are. They get the ball to guys in different ways. So it's hard to grade it by that standard. But yeah, I mean, I thought that the smartest, hardest runs today were frankly from Darrell Williams. And yeah, I don't think you're going to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire next week. I'd be surprised. I think they would probably let him get another week of rest, get ready for the playoffs. But it hasn't really cost the Chiefs as of yet. The fact that the ground game isn't anything that you can just seem to push a button and it goes off. Maybe that will cost them at some point the ability to just run out the clock, put a game away, ice it away, or pick up consistently 3rd and short, 4th and short. They had one today, which once again is not necessarily the Chiefs' forte of converting 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 type situation. But Darrell Williams did it. Ripped off a big 11-yard run. But even then, that was, with a little bit of misdirection. I mean, it wasn't just piling up guys. I mean, they were pulling out Nick Allegretti one way, Rimmers and Wiley are pushing the other way. It wasn't just straight-ahead football, because that's not what the Chiefs do. And they're never going to do it. They're going to have to do it in different ways. And I don't know if that's going to change even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire healthy.
And then on the next 4th down play, they had Sammy Watkins throw the ball, but we're not going to get into the ugly play of the game. Let's talk about some good stuff. Travis Kelce set the record today, over 1,400 yards. He got 2 years now with 100 catches, and it was just kind of a ho-hum. Here's, 7 for 98 and a touch, right? I mean, it's just kind of what you expect out of Travis Kelce. He is exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, just one of the most consistent players in the league. And what's really crazy to me is that he's doing it at this point in his career. I mean, at his age, at this point, guys are starting to get on the sunset side. I mean, he's 31 years old. And at that point, most guys at tight end are starting their decline. I mean, the really, really great ones even are on, the sunnier side of their careers and starting to fade a little bit. And here's Kelsey at 31 turning in his best season. And in all likelihood, I mean, this is as good as it's going to get. I mean, you got to think it's the peak because it's the best season a tight end has ever had. And you think at 32, it's going to be hard to keep putting up 1,400 yards and 10-plus touchdowns. But this is one of a kind. I mean, and he is part of that generation of tight ends. It certainly has changed the position. But, you look at them all. I mean, you look at Gronkowski, you look at what George Kittle's going to be, you look at some of the other guys that are out there. I mean, I think that, to me, Travis Kelce is becoming the poster child tight end of this generation of tight ends.
And, he did it with Alex Smith, and he's doing it with Patrick Mahomes. He's done it with a couple of different quarterbacks. So that's a testament to Travis and how hard he's worked, because his first year in the league, he was hurt and didn't really get to do anything, and he's just worked and worked and worked. He's been a really good teammate for his quarterbacks as well. He's always on board with whoever the quarterback is, which is a good deal. Chiefs Digest, Matt Derrick is our guest here on the Chiefs Postgame Show, brought to you in part by CBD American Shaman. You can get 17% off tomorrow at CBD American Shaman. American Shaman, life is better with the feather. Let's talk a little defense now. I liked what I saw out of the pass rush. It's been a while since I've been able to say that. And, they had a couple times. They had, Snead had a sack last week or whatever, but Drew Brees went out there with, barely healed broken ribs and didn't get a lot of shots on him last week. And they got after Matt Ryan today and sacked him a few times, not just the one that Snead had, but Frank Clark was back there getting sacks, Chris Jones. Did they turn the corner, or was this just a nice matchup with this offensive line and a not very mobile quarterback in Matt Ryan?
It might be a matchup, but, we've been talking about this for a while. Was there some point where the pressures that these guys were getting were going to translate into sacks? And maybe this was the case. I mean, they've been there. They've been close. They haven't been piling up the sacks, but they've been in the neighborhood, especially Chris Jones. I mean, he's playing at an all-pro level. And today, I think you saw all-pro Chris Jones. I mean, he's got the sack. I think he had 4 other hits on the day, another tackle for a loss. He tipped a pass. I mean, he was everywhere. And when Chris Jones plays at that level, I think it brings up everybody else. I mean, once you got to pay that much attention to Chris Jones, everybody else should be able to step up their game. And I think Alex Okafor being back and finally being, it looks like fully healthy and 100%, gives them more depth there. And I think you saw Okafor today really fired up. I mean, that's the most I think I've seen that defensive front fired up in a long time. And maybe it is just a little matter of fact of them all getting healthy, getting comfortable, really getting the whole group together at once, because this was their most complete effort, I think, of the season from that front four in particular. And it all starts with Chris Jones. And when Jones has days like he has today, that defensive front's going to put up some numbers.
Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest is our guest. The Chiefs win today 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. When they get started, they won't play till the 16th or 17th, so we'll see if they end up having to play some of their guys or what they do next week against the Chargers, but they will not play that first week of the playoffs. Only one team gets the bye, so that's pretty cool. Let's talk about that linebacker position. The Chiefs were very thin there because of some COVID protocols and injuries. So Ben Neiman got the start at middle linebacker. He was going to be the guy making the calls with the green sticker on his helmet, and then he gets hurt. I mean, this was not a great setup to have a very good defensive day, and they did that. How much credit should go to those young linebackers who got out there and kind of just filled in and got the job done?
Yeah, I give them a ton of credit, especially because you got a couple of guys with Darius Harris and Amari Cobb who this is Cobb's first game and Harris's first substantial playing time. And here's a guy, second-year pro. I mean, last year he wasn't on the field at all because he was out with an injury from college. And then here he is, in the second half of an important game, calling the plays and setting the defense. I mean, that was a big ask for a young guy like that. And, Willie Gay, I mean, the Chiefs have been, I don't want to say protecting him because the Chiefs had a plan for Willie Gay and how they were going to use him this year. And it was really all about, setting him up in specific roles, putting him in a spot where they felt like he could thrive because he didn't have a ton of college experience. He missed 8 games with the suspension his last year in college. Wasn't really a full-time player. So he's big time on athleticism, but short the experience. And this year they really just wanted to put him in a spot where they felt like he could make some plays, get some confidence, get some instruction, and be ready to break out next year. And today was the day where they had to ask more of him. And he responded. I think you've seen that the more and more that they put on his plate, the more and more he's been able to accept and take on. And I think it's a good sign for the short term, for the postseason, but I think it's even a better sign for the long term, because I think this guy is showing that he might very well be the long-term answer that this team has been looking for, as somebody who can be an eraser at the linebacker level and be a tackling machine.
We're speaking with Matt Derrick about the Chiefs' win today. And, the Falcons threw for 300 yards, but I didn't really feel like anybody had a really bad day or a rough day in the secondary. Sometimes you just it's 2020. You're going to get some, right? Calvin Ridley's a really good player, and it didn't seem like they were able to find him a lot. He ended up with 5 catches. I guess he had 9 targets. It seems like most of those came late. But it was, for a while, you're like, does this guy play for this team still? And then he had the big 50-some-yard catch that kind of got him going a little bit. But what'd you think of the play of the secondary on this day where the Falcons threw for 300 but only scored 14 points?
Yeah, I thought it was generally fairly solid. I mean, there were some letdowns here and there, maybe a couple of missed tackles here and there. But you're right. I mean, it was a soft 300 yards that they gave up to Matt Ryan. Only 14 points. They really didn't seem to be moving the ball at will or anything. The Falcons have had better offensive performances, more efficient performances as in regards to scoring. So, the 300 yards I don't think should concern you too much. They had a couple of runs that was maybe a little bit problematic, but, I think this defense the last couple of weeks has been getting back to the defense that you saw last year, which is, a defense that, hey, maybe they're going to give up some yards from time to time, but they're going to try and keep teams out of the red zone. They're not going to give them long, sustained drives. Maybe they're going to, create a turnover here or there. They're going to create some long drives with some sacks. They did that today. Atlanta, they put up 300 yards passing, but like I said, it never felt like that they were in danger of really breaking this game open or really hurting the Chiefs in any way. It was a soft 300 yards, and a big part of that, I think, was that the Chiefs kept putting the Saints into some negative situations.
All right, Matt, before we let you go here, let's talk a little special teams. Harrison Butker's been very good since missing a lot of extra points early in the year. He made a 53-yarder today, and Arrowhead's not a great place to kick. The later in the year it gets, the harder it is, too. We saw a Pro Bowl kicker who had missed a field goal all season long, miss a pretty much chip shot to send the game to overtime for Atlanta. What did you think of the special teams with Butker and kind of the solid way he's been playing, and what were your thoughts on Koo? Did you think he was going to make that kick? And, I guess, what were your reaction when he missed it?
Yeah, with Koo, the funny thing is, as good a year of he's having, he comes on to make that kick, and I flash back to his time with the Chargers, which was not a very long time with the Chargers, but it seems like every kick with the Chargers in that kind of situation, he missed them. And so I was talking to even someone at the time when he's coming out there, and I'm like, oh, he's going to miss this.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of expected it. So when he actually did, it didn't surprise me too much. Because you're right. Arrowhead, I don't think that people truly understand how tricky Arrowhead is, especially with the winds. When and if you're able to get back in the Arrowhead someday, I always tell people, watch the flags all around the stadium, because you will see the flags.
No consistency, yeah.
Blowing 2 different directions at the same time. And then you'll see the flags at the top of the stadium blowing a third direction.
Yeah.
They swirl like crazy. But Butker comes out there for 53, and I fully expected him to make that, because he just seems like he's automatic on those long kicks. And, yeah, he does seem to have whatever the yips were, whether it was the hold or just psychological on his end. It seems like he's out of his mind, because right now, he's been on a roll, and I think that's what you need going into the postseason.
All right, Matt, the other news of the day is that your beloved Missouri Tigers are not going to play in the bowl game now. Too many COVID tests, so now there's no Iowa-Missouri bowl game. What will you do at 3 o'clock next Wednesday?
Let's see. I guess we'll be finishing up next Wednesday. This Wednesday, yeah.
This Wednesday, yeah. In 2 days from now, or whatever it is.
We got Andy Reid and the players coming. That we'll have just been finishing up with. So
I know, but it was going to be great. You were going to do that, and you're going to watch the Missouri game, and now it's gone.
Now I won't have anything to distract me or keep me away from work, so I won't be able to procrastinate like I wanted to.
All right, Matt, thanks a lot for coming on, and we appreciate it. We'll see you on the Zoom starting tomorrow, buddy.
Sounds like a plan, Todd. Take care, my friend.
All right, there's Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest. Chiefs win today, 17-14. They've got the number 1 seed. The road to the AFC runs through Arrowhead Stadium.
You're listening to live post-game coverage on Kansas City's home for the National Football League. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
One Missouri lottery ticket isn't going to change a student's life. One ticket can only do so much good. But when Missourians come together and play, that good adds up to something greater. That good helps send our children to college and supports their dreams. That good does change the world. Thank you for supporting Missouri public education. Thank you for playing it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Hi there, Gary Giles with Giles' Jewelry. Everybody knows Giles' Jewelry is the place to buy an engagement ring. Thousands of diamond rings, quality second to nobody. Come on into Giles, 95th and Antioch, right in front of the big High B. Giles' Jewelry, we're the jewelers you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Jocelyn's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Stop by Premier Mazda today and save thousands. Right now, 0% APR for 60 months plus $750 APR bonus cash. And no payments for 90 days on any new 2020 Mazda. Premier Mazda is the 2019 President's Club winner and the largest Mazda dealer in KC. Right now, it's the Kickoff to Savings event at Premier. Get 0% financing for 60 months and no payments for 90 days. And take advantage of the Kingdom bonus when you mention this ad. Find out why Premier Mazda is Kansas City's best. Right past State Line and 135th or at PremierMazdaKC.com.
Call Bob Hamilton, Plumbing, Heating, AC, Rooter, and Electrical. Did you know your heating system can lose 5% efficiency every year? Call us today and get a $49 system check, and we'll give you a Google Home Hub absolutely free. What? That's a $139 value while they last. How's that for peace of mind? Better call Bob.
Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating and AC. Call 888-4BOB. Remember 913.
LMC Truck, located right here in Kansas City, offers quality parts and accessories for Chevy, GMC, Ford, and Dodge trucks, SUVs, and vans. At lmctruck.com, their website features the same detailed interactive artwork as the catalog. Restoring old memories or just getting started on new ones, LMC Truck is here to help. They are more than just parts. Trucks are a lifestyle. They understand that. LMC Trucks helps you live it. Just go to lmctruck.com. LMC Truck, keeping generations on the road. This holiday season, your Kansas City Acura dealers are supporting Patrick Mahomes' charity, 15 and the Mahomies. Test drive any Acura before December 31st, and they'll make a donation for every test drive, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a Patrick Mahomes signed jersey. They're offering the best deals of the year on every Acura in stock, including the 2020 MDX with 0.9% APR financing for qualified buyers. It's the Season of Performance event at your Kansas City Acura dealer. APR ends January 4th. PMC edition excluded. See dealer for details.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Our friends at CBD American Shaman are calling an audible for our listeners. So listen close. When Kansas City scores, you score big at your local Shaman store the day after the game. If Kansas City puts up 30 points, it's 30% off the next day at your local CBD American Shaman. If they put up 50 points, you got it. 50% off the very next day. Now that's a big win. American Shaman, life is better with the feather.
WHB Kansas City.
Ryan steps away from pressure, standing in. Here comes more pressure, and down he goes. Ball is loose. Okafor on the sack. Ryan pressure, and he is dropped. Sacked again. L'Jarius Sneed, who had one last week against Breeze, has another for the rookie. Third quarter to Pam, and now Ryan in deep trouble, and he is dropped by Frank Clark. And a big sack it was. They lost 9 on second down. Pressure again. Ryan looks to go down again. Back-to-back sacks. That time it's Chris Jones, a Pro Bowler. 2nd and 5. Pressure on Ryan. Hit! Ball is out! It's loose! Kansas City picks it up, and now they're blowing the play dead. They say incomplete pass. Frank Clark is the guy with the sack, but they say it was incomplete.
A montage of sacks there for the Chiefs. It was nice to see the Chiefs kind of get after it. The Chiefs win today 17-14 over the Atlanta Falcons. They moved to 14-1. They are the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs, and they haven't been that in a while. You know, they made the Super Bowl last year. They were the number 2 seed. You guys forget about that, right? Baltimore was unbeatable. Remember, Baltimore was going to win all the games, and then they lost? They also rested all their players. So should the Chiefs rest their players? I don't know. There's no right answer to that. Andy Reid's not going to tell us that answer tomorrow either. He'll be a little bit ambiguous about what they do. But the Chiefs did win today, and they've got that 1 seed. Right now, the Chargers and Broncos are playing. It's 16-16. The Raiders already lost last night. Ha. It was a very funny loss for the Raiders against the Miami Dolphins. Other interesting scores today. The Pittsburgh Steelers did come back and beat the Indianapolis Colts, so the Steelers kind of forced the Chiefs to have to win that game. Buffalo will not play until tomorrow night. You can hear that right here on Sports Radio 810 when they play Monday Night Football against the Patriots. The Jets won again. They beat the Cleveland Browns, who were without, I think, their top 3 or 4 wide receivers. Fought back from down 20-3, but lost the game 23-16 as Baker Mayfield fumbled on a 4th and 1 quarterback sneak. So they did not get it done there. Other scores, in case you cared, Cincinnati against Houston. Cincinnati wins 37-31. The Bears score 41 points today, beat the Jaguars 41-17. The Ravens beat the Giants 27-13. And the Titans and Packers are coming up later tonight right here on Sports Radio 810. It's 13-9. Seahawks over the Rams right now. And Dallas is going to try to win the East, I guess. They're 30-17 up over Philadelphia. And that's something. Washington is losing to the Panthers. They're going to lose. They're down 2 scores, 20-6. So Washington is toast. The Cowboys are winning. The Giants already lost. The Eagles are losing. The NFC East is crazy. Who knows? We got some ESPN coverage for you with all the NFL stuff going on. And then, of course, we will have Sunday Night Football for you right here on your home for the National Football League. Sports Radio 810, WHB. Chiefs win 17-14.
Chiefs Postgame, brought to you by Casey's Own CBD American Shaman. Come on into your local Shaman store for a free sample of stress-sacking CBD. Everything is better